Big Jon, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's the 20th of January. We have a great guest on tonight that we've had on before. Should be a great conversation talking about his events as well as other items, especially sports. We have Scott from EC3 Con. Scott, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you guys tonight?
Doing
Good.
good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good to have you here.
We got you back in the swing of things. Good to have you back on.
Was this the third or fourth time now?
Is it that many?
Yes.
Hey, we like you. You know?
If it's three, we can call it a three-peat. If it's four, then we break the three-peat record.
What's the weather looking like out there right now?
That cold.
Cold.
Cold, white, very, very snowy.
Yeah, light snow yesterday, over the weekend, but now it's just cold.
I mean, it was that snow was like nice if it was like the night before Christmas, though. You know, to have like a nice snowy Christmas for everyone that enjoys that. But what are supposed to get this weekend? They're calling. I mean, they scare everyone all the time with numbers, but like 14 to 24 inches, something stupid like that.
Well, see, that's what you're supposed to get because you're closer to inland. I'm only getting like 1 to 3 on the coast here. So I got
Scott, you talking about how many inches or so?
Well, they like to scare everyone. So in New England, it's like there might be a volcano, which we don't have any to. There might be like 90 inches of snow and anything in between. That way they're just covered for how everyone freaks out about everything. But they're calling for somewhere between 14 to 24.
Wow.
See, and that's inland. On the coast, I'm like 1 to 3. So over the course of 2 days, it's just different.
Looks like I'll be seeing you on the coast.
Going to Mohegan.
We were just there last night.
Yes. Celebrating, right?
Yeah, it was the missus' birthday the other day, so we figured a night away from the cats more than the kids, because the cats keep us up all night with chewing things or scratching or hungry, and we're like, we feed you all the time. There's food. Like, it's not like we starve our cats. We love them. But nice night away. They gave us a nice corner suite on the shorter hotel, so that was nice.
That's nice. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed yourself.
Oh yeah.
Happy birthday.
So we want to have you back on because, of course, you know you got a lot of different things going on and you do it all. So what's new with you in EC3?
Well, we got through the awesome, crazy holiday season at the shop. We were running 7 days a week at the shop, and I like to say we, but it was I. Nicole does great behind the scenes, but I'm the one that is there physically every day. So happy to be back down to our typical 5-day schedule, Wednesday to Sunday. But it seems like there's no breaks happening in this hobby at all. There's no pumping of the brakes. It seems like more and more people are getting interested. More and more people are talking about it at work with their coworkers, friends, family, sporting events. You name it, it's happening. And I'm just enjoying every moment of it while we can.
I mean, from my standpoint of view, the Connecticut card scene is really up and coming right now. I'm seeing more and more card shops open up around state in the last year and a half. I'm seeing more and more card shows. And maybe it's because, I've invented some of the local ones, and I'm just getting invites to do more local ones. But I think there's like 2 card shows every weekend, if not more.
Yeah, there's probably, thinking about the Northeast here, which I would say, New Jersey is definitely part of the Northeast. You can throw a dart at a map, and any given weekend in New Jersey, there's at least 5 to 7 card shows happening just for how long that state is. And we're getting pretty close to that. And I'd say for the size of our state, unfortunately, we're getting close to that. I encourage everyone to enjoy the hobby however they want to. I encourage new shows. I encourage new faces, but the overlap starts to get scary for everybody. Is it becoming to be too much? And is everyone still having this much fun And if they are, that's great. I've never try to bring up anything negative at all. I try to be a very positive person, but there's definitely a high volume of increase lately for sure.
Well, what do y'all think has led to that in that area? Is it just more people organically saying, "Well, I also want to do a show," or is it more than that?
I'll get the negative out of the way first. I do think in some situations it's becoming a cash grab, just as we've seen vending wise, right? People don't know what they're talking about with cards, but they've got the money to try it, right? But on the positive side, I do just think that there's a volume of people that are enjoying the events out there and deciding I want to try it as well. And it doesn't mean it's the negative cash grab. It just means that they want to try it. And, you know, Big Jon, I'm sure you can correct me if I'm wrong on this one. We've seen a couple pop up, go away, different ones pop up, go away. I think your casual collector that wants to try it doesn't quite understand the back end of the effort that's really put in when other shows make it look easy, right? Up here in the Northeast, we have, you know, the White Plains show that used to be run by JP. They now run the National, right? If you've watched their shows at any point over the last 30 years, you know they made it look easy from doing it for so long. I never like to have any type of, you know, ego or accolades to myself, but Nicole and I get smoother and smoother with every event to where we kind of make it look easy at this point too. And I also don't ever air out the frustrations behind the scenes either, right? Like our Instagram is meant to, and our social media is meant to be a very positive place for people to enjoy, not airing out the negatives on the back end. Although I'm sure people would enjoy some of that drama, I don't think it's necessary to share. You know, so some fizzle out that way, and then others find out they really enjoy it, so they end up doing extra shows because they enjoy it so much.
So I agree with all that, but from my perspective, for me, it was always a show up toward the Boston line or down toward the New York line for me. And now I'm seeing more shows in my area, you know, Eastern Connecticut, from on the short line. That's 20, 30 minutes to get to. And while that's good, that's also concerning because now there are double shows in one small area every weekend, right? And, you know, you go to some of those shows, and well, I'm always positive about shows I go to because I appreciate the ability to have somewhere close to go. You can also tell that some of the qualities stand out because there's so many shows in one cluster.
Right.
No.
Yeah, it's the same thing if too many shops pop up in the same area, right? Like you know, talking about this as a business for a quick second, as much as everyone knows that I hate the business side of this hobby because I have way too much fun and passion into it to where, you know, yes, there's money involved. Yes, we have to run a business, but it doesn't have to be treated that way. Location matters. So if you're going to run two shows in the same town on the same day, well, one or both is going to be affected, or they're both going to be really amazing because people have two options at the same time. Just like putting shops right across the street from each other is no different than Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid all being on the same corner and wondering why three identical businesses pick the same corner instead of different areas. So.
Well, it was like that in LA for quite a while, but you had a lot of different shows. And I think, like Scott, like what you said, you had some shows coming and you had shows go, and things have kind of solidified itself now where there are certain anticipated shows that are going to happen. There are some bigger ones and then there are some smaller ones, but pretty much everyone knows what those shows are.
Correct. And it's funny now that we're talking about the volume of shows now, because back in 22, when our show started, I remember people telling me there was too many shows back then. And I was like, I know, but like, we're going to be different. And I'm not going to do it to where it hurts any current show. I'm not going to do it to where it hurts any vendors, try to avoid any overlap, right? And now that we've become one of the shows of the area, naturally, right? It was never a goal, naturally. Now I'm like, imagine having that conversation today about people thinking 4 years ago there was too many shows.
I mean, you guys are the biggest show around, the Connecticut. I know there's bigger shows in Mass and in New York at times, but that show organically is grown. Like last time I was there for early bird, it was a 20-minute wait to get in for early bird when the lines open. The line was so long.
Yeah.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah, HickTech says
Come off the
Front
internet real
Row
quick.
like a regular show in SoCal. That was just one in San Diego, plus large West Coast show twice a year. Yeah.
Yeah, in Front Row, I thought they were only. I thought they only started in Vegas, and then I realized they started going other places as well, or they always did, and their marketing just didn't hit me for those other places.
Yeah, I think that most recent, HickTech, you tell me if I'm wrong. I want to say Seattle might have been their most recent location, but they've done Vegas, they've done San Diego. We know they have them in LA. There's been several different locations, but this past weekend was in San Diego.
Yeah, I know people really like that show.
Yeah, you have so much. Like I was at the San Diego show for like 30 minutes, walking around, and you have Pokemon, you got other TCG, you have sports, and I was just blown away by. I haven't been to a show in a while. How much Pokemon TCG is taking over that show that day. It's very large compared to just a year ago. It wasn't that large. So, and I was at the West Coast Car Show 6 months ago, and it was large there, but it's growing. So, it's interesting. It changes. Yeah, Vegas 2 weeks ago. Yeah, they're moving around.
I mean, Pokemon is big. I think it's big here now than it's ever been. Like outside, because your shop is very Pokemon heavy, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's been the challenge to keep the balance as a shop is the access to inventory.
Mm-hmm.
That's the challenge. So early on, I had better connections to getting Pokemon product from other shops that didn't want their allocation, didn't need their allocation, or just the connection to other dealers that were willing to sell stuff at a reasonable price to still not excuse me, hammer the end consumer, right? The collector, the buyer, the person buying gifts, whatever it is, right? And then on the sports side, with Fanatics taking over so much of the product now, and the allocations for hobby boxes being so tough, when you have people calling up saying, "Hey, do you have this?" Or like, "Nah, I don't, but I'm trying," they usually don't call back, you know. But when people call up for Pokemon, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm probably the most stocked shop in the state," and I say that with confidence, not cockiness. It's like, unfortunately, it pushes the needle that way just because of the availability of product and pricing of product. You know, now that we're getting to $85, $90 on a mega box of tops, it's getting tough for people to stomach that, you know, that for their collections where they may have bought 2 or 3 at 45 still instead.
So Topps Chrome price range is, I bought none of it. I just refuse. Even going to retail, it's way too expensive to get nothing. Like I'm not going to burn $100. So what talking about getting allocation, you see that Topps basically have said, Fanatics said they're not looking for more shops in their program that they have with shops. So you're still, willing and dealing and hustling to get product in, right?
Yeah. So on the top side, not only are we boxed out of Fanatics at this point with that announcement, but as a solo shop owner with no employees, I also wasn't open long enough for their application. So I was going to adjust my hours to be 40 hours on purpose just for their application. And now there's no point. I mean, even on their application, they ask if you use other dealers, DealerNet, some of the bigger companies, and they're basically telling you like, yeah, just use them, just overpay, just, we've got enough business. And this was, if anyone from Topps or Fanatics ever hears this, I'm not saying anything negative on purpose, but this was always my fear with their success of distribution of jerseys and hats and everything else that they do. They don't need the middleman shops anymore. They don't. What it hurts on that though is the experience at your shops. If you want to just go in and buy a product and leave, I think we've talked about this before. Go to Walmart, right? Go stop by your shop, grab the one thing and leave. But if you want to have an experience of hanging out and getting stuff at a reasonable price, shops are still the best avenue for collectors. And, if we could just get, I say this as a collector that has dealt with shops for years, as well as now a shop owner, if we could just get the allocation, I would never sell above MSRP. You give me enough allocation to keep the doors open, I will always sell it at MSRP, keep customers happy, keep customers coming back, give them the experience of trade-ins. But you can't trade in cards at Walmart, Yeah. GameStop tried, but it's not going well for their pricing model. So I think this is going to have a backfire on the hobby, on the sports side in a little bit. But I could be wrong because I am just one person, one shop, and one sample size. I'm not actually communicating with other shops out there to know their opinions and feelings.
Oh, that's interesting. And like I've been to your shop a couple of times. Last time me and my wife came in, and you guys had every table was full of people going through dollar bins. You had people at your counter, and you do a great job of kind of communicating with everybody and just kind of being aware. So if you guys are in Connecticut, you go to the shop, you feel like you're in a safe space, in a good space, in a space that has a lot of positivity in it, and you're not really worried about what you'll have. Like for me, I can't find WWE boxes anywhere, whether it's Walmart, Target, any shop I try to go and sneak into that I find driving around. It's the hardest thing to find. When I buy boxes, I want them here and now. Like I don't want to wait till they come in the mail and open it up. Just different.
HeadTech has a question here. Isn't Topps going to do a product that dealers have to sell at MSRP this year?
That's going to be
then they need to change their model to shops anyway, because on the back end, they do a wave 1 and wave 2. So wave 1 is like distribution pricing as if how it used to be. And wave 2 is market pricing. And if you as a shop skip wave 2, you don't ever get a future product for wave 1. Just like I have talked to a couple shops about Fanatics Fest, Hobby Rip Night, stuff like that, where if you're not participating, this is where like Fanatics it also has a positive. It's like a weird double-edged sword. They want to be picky about the shops that they're partnered with, and I think they're trying to weed out the shops that are overcharging, the shops that are backdooring allocation to other people like me, even though they're kind of encouraging it by boxing out shops. But if you don't do Fanatics Fest, if you don't do Hobby Rip Nights, if you're not actively like supporting the hobby, I think they're trying to look at, and this is just my opinion, I've not actually heard this, but I think they're looking at trying to cut those shops out of the picture and then potentially reopen the door. But solo shops like me still aren't going to get a chance unless I fix my hours. And if they're going to try to force shops to have an MSRP product, then you need to provide allocation that allows the doors to stay open at MSRP.
So I think from what I heard from other podcasts, the MSRP product are going to be basically your retail blasters and your retail hanger boxes and stuff like that. It won't be the hobby boxes and things like that, the higher end stuff or
right.
Stuff. It's just the entry level stuff supposed to be what they want to keep as MSRP for people to come through the door and be able to purchase.
Correct.
So which is great in theory. And like I said, it's great in theory and it sounds good, but what are you losing because you don't know all the shops and you want, I still think I still think their need to try to control individual entrepreneurs is a strain in general and an overreach in general. You know, I understand them wanting to make the most of their end, but to be able to tell somebody you're not a franchisee, right? You're your own shop. You're not franchise licensed to Fanatics like a Subway or Burger King or McDonald's. So to tell me that I have to be open this many hours, I have to sell this at this price is a little bit of overreach. You're not, essentially, you are my boss, but you're not my boss. You're not the governing body of one shop. If I was a shop owner, that's what I would think in the back of my head. And
to piggyback on you on that, it's like they'll allow Topps Chrome to be sold out online to people that immediately put it to eBay, but question their shops, right? At the same time, they're putting all of the allocation on their website to direct consumer who's just going to resell it anyway, rather than pushing the allocation to your shops. If you give me, it's not Fanatics, but it was a recent Panini product as an example of what is also happening on pricing with Topps products, right? The Prism Draft College hobby box that just came out, MSRP was like $224, $232, something weird like that, right? Let's just go with $225. They sold it to us from the distributor at $220.
Mm-hmm.
A, it's not even a real $5 profit as soon as someone pays with a debit or credit card. And B, you're already forcing us to immediately go over MSRP just to make it worth having on the shelf. If when you assume a 3% fee on $225 is like $7-8, I'm already losing money to buy your product. So I would need, assuming that there was just a $20 gap on that. Let's just say they sold it to us for $200 and I sell it for $225, right? A $25 gap minus the $8 of fees. If I was relying on that one product, I would have to sell like 300 of them just to cover my rent.
Right.
And that's not me complaining. That's explaining what's happening in the pricing on the back end when you hear, yeah, you're right. This is supposed to be $225 MSRP, but they sold it to me for $220 and I can't keep the lights on at that price. So if they're not going to allocate enough, then there's no reason to also question me from MSRP. But if you are going to allocate enough, then go ahead, check on me, right? Mm-hmm. Call me, call my store, find out what I'm selling your products for. And if I say a number over MSRP, you got me, but until you give enough product to make it worth staying open, it's going to hurt the end consumer, our collectors, our friends and family who enjoy collecting, because we can't get products at the right prices.
Well, Scott, I'm going to say something, and I don't want to offend you, but this is just what's in my mind, right? So they're taking your margin for themselves.
Yeah.
And they're using bots and anything happening on eBay online as marketing for themselves.
Yeah.
So that buzz that's happening and people scrambling and that second price being higher is going to create demand for them. And then they're trying to drive that to promote their own sales at a certain price. And they're leaving nothing for someone else.
That's correct. Because not to bring up the whole negative situation of COVID, because obviously a lot of people's lives were impacted by it. When, excuse me, when there were situations at like Target and Walmart, fights, all that stuff where they were like, you know what, done, online only. People still sold out Target and Walmart online and waited the 2 to 3 days for it to ship. So when Fanatics bought Topps, you don't think they had watched the market do that? They know people will wait 2 to 3 days for it to ship. They don't care.
Yep.
But I think that analogy in that situation is also inside for people who think they can start a shop and think it's easy and think that, you get a product, you sell it, and you're going to make money hands over business. There's a business acumen that you need, and to understand that it's still a hustle and it's still, you're just doing it out of a regular building. But you are doing cool things in your building, like Lego nights. You want to talk about that? Be something positive?
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, I didn't want to like go down any type of negative road there. I honestly enjoy all this stuff so much and the passion. It's just there is an aspect of the truth behind the scenes, but whether it's trade night, Lego night, the events, just hang out on a random Wednesday at the shop. I mean, what we try to do for collectors is totally different. So Lego night is no different than going to a party with BYOB, right? Bring your own Lego set and you just hang out at the tables and build something. I found a lot of us that are in this, I guess, millennial age range, if you want to call it that, where a lot of us have like ADHD. Our collections have to be the right way. Also build Legos to kind of like wind down. And we just found that more and more people were talking about Legos at the shop. And we just said, well, you know what? Let's try to have like a different community night that has nothing to do with sales. I don't even sell the Legos. You either bring your own, or I suggest everyone goes across the street to Amato's to actually buy a Lego set if they don't bring one. I'm not bringing in Lego sets and be like, you must buy this one and build it, right? So it's 100% just a escape from anything you're going through in life and just hang out and build a Lego set.
That is my wife's hobby now, some Legos. My wife and my daughter. So now I'm buying them Legos, and she's took my shelf in my closet, and it's in about 2 months. Yeah, I ain't got no more shelf space. So that's what she does. She just buy big Lego sets. And I think that's cool though, because it also gets some people into the shop to do something different and unwind. And again, it's a community space. You're still building a community around somebody's hobby.
Well, that and it improves, and we're not just there to say thanks for your money and have a great day. Hope you do well in your rip, right? Like it just, we stay an extra 3 or 4 hours on that Saturday that we plan it just to hang out and let people have that escape.
I want to talk sports right now and then get into talk about the show. Is that cool?
Yeah, of course.
So
I'm here for you guys.
Coaching carousel. Let's talk about this, right? Harbaugh in New York. We got Bills coach just got fired. Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta. Miami has a new coach, I believe.
Yeah, OC. He's an OC from somewhere, right?
OC from somewhere.
Yeah.
Bears just lost Eric Bieniemy back to KC for the offensive coordinator job.
If Vrabel's looking good in New England.
Vrabel's looking good. Okay. So I got to think about the Bears, right? If you'd have told me that beginning of the year, first year coach, Caleb Williams, that defensive line and that linebacker that we have that are just mediocre, we would win 11 games, win the North, beat the Packers twice, one being in the playoffs, and come down to going to the NFC Championship game to an interception in the last play, basically, I would have told you that's a great season. So for me, coming here Tuesday, I'm not even mad about it, right? We did better than I thought we were going to do. We actually possibly have a quarterback for the next 5 to 7 years. If he learns how to pump fake, I think he's incorporated that in his game. But the fact that he can backdrop 30 yards like he in Madden and then throw a 50-yard dime is just insane.
Yeah, it's definitely a shakeup going into next season with all these coaching changes. And then I'll ask a question about the Patriots schedule as well. Everyone likes to talk about how there wasn't many, over 500 teams, but were they over 500 when they played them? No one likes to talk about. I don't know that answer, but I'm just saying, like, everyone always likes to throw stats at the end of a season, but there are teams like the Chiefs, for example, right? They had a good start, then they kind of tapered off, and then injuries hit, and now they're not a 500 team. I don't believe. I didn't check their schedule. So if you beat them early on, they were a hard team to beat. But at the end of the year, you look back and say, well, they weren't a 500 team,
Well, I think that New England from the previous year, I think New England had a perceived easier schedule coming in from strength of schedule standpoint. But at the end of the day, you got to beat who they put in front of you.
Correct.
That's what they did, right? Drake May looks good I mean, I remember there was a stat during like the first 8 games where he was 70% of the yardage. Right. from the running and passing, he was 70%, and he was still over 50% of their run game by itself. But they play great defense. Christian Gonzalez is amazing to watch play cornerback. Right. And so you got a corner that can shut down the side of the field. So I think they did well. And if they make it to the Super Bowl, it's the New England thing to happen, right? It's the Patriots thing to happen.
It's been interesting, some of the comparisons to Brady, though. Been interesting.
Oh, yeah. Some of the stats have been crazy where he's like slightly above in like QB rating and slightly above in yards and touchdowns. Like the early comparison is like eerie.
New England runs a certain type of offense, so his completion percentage and all that's going to be high.
Vrabel was definitely a positive change that they needed. I mean, he had the experience of playing as a player and winning. He's going to bring that different experience back to the team and back to the passion for who gave him such a great career as well.
Haytek says, calling my shot now, Seattle blows out the Patriots. I don't see the Patriots beating them, but I don't know about blowout. I just don't. I don't see anybody. I don't see any AFC team rolling through the Seattle's defense.
I would be curious to see how many people come in this week looking for Jarrett Stidham cards. I think everybody in Connecticut and New England and Boston is putting them Stidham cards out and putting them online, right?
Haven't we learned about this though in the hobby? Like,
no.
We don't learn.
We've seen this. We've never seen this, and we're running around with blinders on.
Oh yeah, you're right. We've never seen it.
Never seen it. Just like Haytek says here, call him a shot now. Oh, hold on. Cleveland coaching firing was a mistake.
That was not a mistake. His hiring in Atlanta was a mistake.
I just want Haytek to tell me how was that a mistake? Like more people should have been fired than just the head coach.
Well, sometimes you wonder a few things since we'll never see the back of an organization, right? Like we just see what's in the media. We see what's on TV during the games. Is the coach competent, but they're putting the wrong players in the wrong spots? Is the coach competent, but putting the right players in the wrong spots? Like, what is the actual formula for why? And I think too many of these teams will fire a good coach too quick, rather than maybe getting some development as a team. And especially
PR, though.
What's that?
It's a lot of these firings are PR related, or if I have a personal relationship with you, or I don't inside the organization. Sometimes it has nothing to do if you're doing your job or not.
Correct.
See, last year I thought Gerard Mayo got the short stick on his firing. That's how I thought.
I know. I mean, that was unfortunately a test year to get Vrabel here. Like that's all that was. Yeah. Like I think they wanted him here regardless, and that was just they used him as a scapegoat to get him here. And I agree with you. He definitely got a short stick, and that was a whole planned, orchestrated issue.
Hey, I understand
why the team is looking at him though. His name hasn't come up in anything.
Right.
Why is that?
But I don't think his name was in anything before he got the Patriots job either.
Like, but
I don't remember him being a hot coordinator.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair that his name wasn't brought up. And I think that, again, it was an orchestrated plan to get Mike here and to make it a thing. And that was just the year that they wanted to kind of throw to show, like, Mike, we want you, and here's why, and they just needed an interim coach in the meantime. And, just like, what was it? McDaniels that left the Patriots to go be a head coach. Like, he was better off as a coordinator than he was a head coach, right? Like, some people just have, better roles. Like, as much as I enjoyed being a manager at the bank and trying to teach people, there were days I just wanted to go back and to being an employee and not be the boss, because I felt like the stress was less in that role. Like some people are just in the wrong roles at the wrong time, or the right role at the wrong time, and if he wants to fight for it, he'll get it in the future.
Yeah, I'm convinced that McDaniels, Matt Nagy should never be head coaches ever again. They should just be coordinators. Let somebody else be the CEO of the team, and you do what you do very well and run off.
But their name is going to come back up. It's
I'm
going
sure.
to hear McDaniel again in the future being a head coach somewhere.
I mean, if they get to the Super Bowl, they're going to. I mean, you got to think, right? Vegas doesn't have a coach right now. Who else? Who else is out there? Well, Buffalo doesn't have a coach. That's the last two, and Pittsburgh. Those three. I still don't know how you watch that last Packers versus Bears game and you give your coach an extension a week later. I don't see how that correlates.
Well, the Packers don't make a lot of coaching changes.
They don't. I'm not saying you should have got fired. I don't see how you give them an extension, though. I don't see how you don't wait, let this extension wait till OTAs or something.
Feed the God said thoughts on McDaniel being the OC coach of the Chargers. I'm indifferent.
I mean, I don't think the organization matters. If you're a good OC, you're a good OC, right? Like you'll be able to adapt to the players that you have. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good you are. If the talent just isn't there, it isn't there. So I think that, for the type of coach he is, I'm sure he'll fit in anywhere.
But I mean, I'm sure he'll fit in. But I think the best fit is New England. Like, you just know your house. Like, he's been there how many years, and every time he leaves, he comes back. You know what home is.
Correct.
And I think everything around him in New England is set for him to be successful in his role.
But on the other side, Mayo played there.
Mm-hmm.
Mayo knows everybody in the building. But they're, to me, just from watching them, two totally different people on how they talk to folks, their energy that they give off. I look at Mayo being closer to Mike Singletary than Vrabel.
Ooh.
Like, Mayo looks like no nonsense.
That's rough, because not a single player that coached by Mike Singletary enjoyed or liked working for Mike Singletary.
Oh, I'm pretty sure not. But Mike Singletary represents a history of football that was very common. These players today are not. It's not what goes down. I would say a lot of these coaches probably struggle at. Look at Buffalo. What, their star wide receiver, Keon Coleman?
Keon Coleman?
Yeah. How you coach that guy?
He was so, his attitude and humbleness right after he was drafted was very deceiving. Now that you look back at it, because you just thought he was a good kid.
He could be good. Does he have work ethic?
And now,
you absolutely do.
The way he
paycheck is there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how anybody thinks you're going to pay him millions and you're going to sleep in meetings. But most of these people never had a job. So it is what it is. Until they find themselves.
Look at Stephon Diggs on the field, in that locker room this year. He's been a stabilizing force and a consistency for Drake May.
Why wasn't he like that in Buffalo, though?
Don't know.
Says a lot about Josh Allen. Says a lot about the head coach. Says a lot about a lot of people who couldn't get him. Why could Belichick get Randy Moss to a certain level, but the Raiders organization couldn't do it?
I think it's because of the whole organization. I wouldn't put it on just Josh Allen or the coach. I think it goes deeper than that, right? So I'll correlate it to any of our jobs in life, right? You've got a manager who is very strict, but a good person, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with being strict and good. Strict and annoying or strict and bad is a bad thing, but you got someone who's strict, keeps you on your toes, helps you do what's right, helps you learn your job, and keeps you part of the team. but then their boss comes in and lets you do whatever, you're not going to respect your direct boss no matter what development they've given you, no matter how much they try to get you to focus on your job, because the organization backing your direct manager or your direct coach, your direct person is undermining that person directly to you. So you lose respect to that person. I think the Patriots organization as a whole keeps all of that integrity, style, and everything under lock from the top down. And there isn't any undermining of an assistant coach compared to a head coach, right? Like, I think they all follow that air quote ladder the right way, and they don't tell you, no, it's okay, you can do that today, even though the coach has told you no.
So, Scott, do you think if you're a star quarterback like Josh Allen, and they're paying you money, and you're the head of the franchise, that if your wide receiver is missing meetings and sleeping meetings, and you don't think that person has any say so in that, on how that person's going to play and what's going to happen? You think
no, he absolutely has some say, but I think the whole organization is to blame at that point for allowing it and to keep him on the field. And like, I wouldn't throw to him, and if he gets mad at games, I just would not throw to him until he smartens up and learns the plays, or he's there on time. But so I think Josh Allen has some accountability for sure. I just don't think it's solely on him and the coach.
I just think most organizations are only ran by a few people. We have this idea that it's like a whole committee of folks. I just don't. I don't know if that works like that.
No, but using like the strictness that we're aware of with the Patriots, right? Like, we can go back to that Super Bowl they lost where he didn't put in God, his name is slipping my mind. But I know
what's that? It was a cornerback or a safety. I forgot.
Yeah, right. So he doesn't get put in because of a punishment for whatever. That shows that as a coach, he does not deviate from what he says as a coach, regardless of the game. Now, as a fan, put him in. It's the biggest game of everyone's life that year, right? That's the biggest game of the year. Deviate that one day and put him in. But at the same time, as a coach who's supposed to lead a team with principles and ethics and everything else, he's stuck to what he has said is, if you mess up, you're not playing.
But just think about that scenario. Who made that call? It's just one person.
Right.
And there were a lot of other people around who had questions that he never answered to them.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
But
they were the captains of
like
the
the
defense.
perfect example.
Captains of the defense didn't know anything why that happened. And I'm telling you, I think more organizations are run by one or two, maybe three people, and that is it. The rest of these people are just here. They don't call the shots. They're not questioning anything. They're lining up or they're coaching, but they don't even know.
Right.
So when you talk about the Bills, I think about 4 or 5 weeks ago, Sean McDermott had a meeting with the owners and basically told them X, Y, and Z are the reason why this team is not a Super Bowl team, and that's really the catalyst of his firing right now.
What did he say?
Like his answers.
What did he say?
Yeah, what did he say? He laid out in his eyes why he didn't think the team was good enough to win the Super Bowl, and they did not like that. And they lost. And
I wonder whose name came up, what scenarios came up.
I also want to know
think he made
reverse psychology
to sit Coleman down. You go from DNP.
Because that would have been 4 or 5 weeks ago, would have been after the trade deadline. So it looked like they can go get more players.
Yep.
I wonder if that was some weird reverse psychology, like trying to be like, guys, this isn't a Super Bowl team, and step it up, and it kind of backfired.
I think he's a good coach. I think he'll be someplace else.
Yeah.
Buffalo, man.
I don't know. I mean, Pittsburgh, the kid look nice to him. Vegas could look nice if he likes Fernando Mendoza. National Heisman Trophy winner, national champion. So
You think
you
Mendoza's
guys watched the game last night?
You think Mendoza's an NFL quarterback?
I think he's gonna get drafted number 1.
Yeah, but that doesn't. Is he an NFL quarterback?
We shall see.
That's not an answer.
I don't know.
I don't see that.
I don't know.
I don't follow enough college to have that answer.
What's that?
I don't follow enough college to have that answer.
I think
I just watched him. I just watched the second half of that game last night. I don't know.
Either the Raiders, Sammy, are going to ruin him, or he's just not. He's just not that.
Well, so let's just say he is, and that the Raiders do ruin him. I think the NFL post 2017 Mahomes is so quick to just throw in a rookie quarterback and think they're going to be the next Tom Brady, the next Mahomes, the next Rodgers, and there is zero development. And while, the Packers aren't the best example right now, Jordan Love is a good example of a couple of years of development before taking over. Mm-hmm. And I don't think anywhere is trying to develop anymore. Even Drake May went in too quick last year, and maybe he'd have this type of year for his first year under some development.
Hexek and I usually don't agree, but I'm agreeing right now. I think he's average.
I think it's case by case, right? Because Penix got to sit for a couple of weeks, and he's never looked good, right? As a quarterback in Atlanta, he got to sit for like 8 weeks until they pulled him for Kirk Cousins. Put him in, and he still didn't look good after didn't sit. But you have,
But is 8 weeks still enough development if other quarterbacks are sitting for 2 to 3 years under a good quarterback? If you're not under a good quarterback and you're not getting the good development, the 8 weeks or 8 years may not be enough time to be to step in and do it.
Brett Favre said, Mahomes said,
Rodgers sat under Favre.
We can name a bunch of people that were back there looking and learning and also taking reps and practice. They were all Stefanski's work. They were also taking reps and practice and in the playbook. And sometimes you'll have a quarterback call the plays while the other quarterback is running the play. So you actually are thinking about what's that wide receiver doing? What's that fullback doing? You're thinking about something. What's that tight end doing? You're seeing it. Or you're just not developing at all.
Hey, the window, what's the window now? The windows, I think ever since Russell Wilson, the windows then you can win a Super Bowl in that first 4 years before you have to pay your quarterback. That's when you have the most money to put in around them. I mean, the Patriots are a great example. They put $300 million into that whole team, getting new players in free agency last year. And look what it's done. They are a game away from the Super Bowl. But they don't have to pay Drake May yet because, granted, the quarterback's the only player on the team that's going to be making $50 to $70 million a year. So,
how would you feel if the Raiders moved that number 1 pick?
Depends on what they get.
He's not
Depends on what they have their eye on. I mean, look at how far. I mean, unfortunately, Tom Brady's the easy one to say. He went to 199, right? But you don't always need the number 1 pick to get the right person. Maybe someone you're looking at is lower down anyway, and you can trade off that number 1 pick for better assets of picks, and you still get the person you wanted anyway. Like this is no different than taking back to the hobby for a second. Let's just say I grade a card and it's now worth $5,000. Well, $5,000 is not my comfort, not my swim lane at all. I'd rather have $50, $100 cards instead because that is my comfort, my swim lane. So the number 1 pick may not be their comfort to have that pressure on the clock anyway. So if they get the right deal and it fits the organization, take it and run.
I agree with you, Scott. totally agree. Or you're gonna be like Tennessee with Cam Ward.
No, but I got a perfect example of trading it. Look at the Bears and look at the Panthers, right? Traded number 1 picks. Basically, 3 years later, for that original trade, both teams made the playoffs. Both teams have quarterbacks that they are confident in, right? And they have solid rosters now.
The only caveat to that is I think Caleb Williams will be in a Bears uniform longer than my man in Carolina.
Right, Sean? Maybe.
Yes. Oh yeah.
But you got like if who'd ever thought when Sam Darnold was drafted that he'd be a game away from the Super Bowl?
I think every Jets fan is upset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't have doubted that. But when I look at Mendoza, I wouldn't think that at all. I just wouldn't think that. And when I look at Caleb Williams, I see more of an NFL quarterback than when I'm looking at Mendoza. But we'll see. We'll see what's up. We will see. Sammy says that's what Brady has always said. What's the problem nowadays? No development.
Well, I think it's no development. There's no stretching, so injuries are happening more. There's no and this is just a blanket comment on the negatives of the sport. Not saying every player is this way, right? But I just don't think. I think once the paydays hit, a lot of the loyalty to the sport is gone. So they're not putting as much effort into training, as much effort into keeping track of their bodies, and then all these injuries are happening way too often. No matter what sport it is, there are too many injuries.
And Scott, are you referring to the players with that? Like the players not taking care of themselves?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Sir. If you're not most guys don't want to admit they do yoga, but guess what? The more you're stretched and the more you're ready to go, the less likely you are to have an injury because you're taking care of your body.
Well, we gotta get out the club. We gotta cut out the bad habits. We gotta get some sleep at night. Those things.
Well, and that comes down to a good team around you too. Now, obviously, I have a good experience of, meeting a lot of players in my life, meeting agents, meeting the financial advisors that are around them. And I mean, you can sniff out the bad guys real quick.
Oh, yeah. But to tell you the truth, though, a lot of these guys and girls are just paying the sport for a paycheck.
Yes.
They don't even like doing this. They're not interested in this at all. So now you want them to eat right and to work out and to go see the trainer and to get rehab. You'd be surprised how many players don't even show up for rehab. But they're so hurt.
Wasn't that where Brandon Ayuk's contract got revoked because he didn't show up to rehab?
Well, this is also because, like Scott's saying, when I get that money, I'm traveling. Mm-hmm. So I'm not coming to the facility to see your people. That's why Dame Lillard got cut. He didn't want to come into Milwaukee to see those people. I'm going over here, and I'm gonna send you video or FaceTime you on what I'm doing. People, I'm not paying you to do that. So I gotta let you go. That's what players are doing. A lot of these people are not interested in this. They're the Jerry Rices, the Joe Montanas, the people that really committed themselves. Very far and few between. Most people are just showing up.
You see that with Tyler Hero, right? He got injured end of the season and then waited till the start of the season to have surgery, but he spent the whole summer on vacation, just going everywhere.
Yes. You just there for that check, man. But then when if you're going to check
out at that point, just retire with the money and move on so that the other players don't get impacted and the fans don't get impacted, right? Like, play it for 5 years, make your money, retire, move on.
Well, they asked Ja the other day. He supposedly has told several players on the team, I'm going to stop going into the lane and dunking because I get hurt and this organization is not loyal to me. But when they asked him the other day about where he wants to be, he says, I have a logo tattooed on my back. But he doesn't act like that. That's not.
Man,
he's like
under whose term do you want to be there?
I would think most of it's going to be on the players' terms. If you're talking to most players, they don't care anything about the
He
fans.
wants to do what he wants. He want to do what he wants. You be loyal to me, but each and every offseason, be in some controversy to put the team on edge, right? You want to be guns, Instagram posts. You want to be, out and doing stuff you're not supposed to be doing. But hey, I want to stay here.
Well, this guy said that Instagram got him in trouble. Like he doesn't trust
not what he was doing on Instagram.
Not because you press 7 buttons and got on the live, but Instagram is the problem.
That comes down to accountability.
That's where we at, people. These are these athletes out here. That's are the ones who are consistent and dedicate themselves and regulate their diet and how they stretch and what they're doing. That's why you see their game start to take off. You look at a guy like Shea. Shea is only 26, 27 years old. His game is rising because of really his habits. Now, the rest of it can come with it, but if you got a guy with no habits, it's going to show itself sooner or later.
Right. Also got like Peyton Pritchard, right? He has the same habits he's had since he started in the year, working out in the offseason and getting better, and he's going to have a long career in his role by being consistent in what he does.
Now, my man Big Jon is not only on this podcast, people, he's dropping dimes right now. So Jordan said Victor Mendoza has a good, strong arm. But he is in that transfer portal.
That's the brother.
I wonder why. Why would he enter the transfer portal? But he is in there. I mean, he probably knows, my brother tricked these people. I'm probably not going to.
Here's what I think about the transfer portals, as long as my perception for my lack of following college is accurate. There's a lot of money in the NIL now. Mm-hmm. And if you are concerned about your potential professional career, get the money now during that NIL deal, invest it with the right team around you. And if the NFL career does not go the way it should, you're still probably set for life.
Yeah. Or if you get hurt, you have that policy that you're probably paying for. Or you, like you said, Scott, you have invested your money in other places. You're good. And that's going to be another thing that hinders players. There are players coming out with hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions stacked up. Why am I busting ass right now?
Yeah. When you're seeing Oregon's quarterback going back to school because he don't want to pay for the Jets, and it's the same money if he signs a contract next year. If he goes back on his NIL deal, it's the same exact money, like $7 million. So
I also don't agree with picking the team you don't want to play for, though. Like, you could be missing that opportunity that made sense just because you have a perception of the team.
Hey, everybody's trying to be Eli Manning.
Mm-hmm.
Bounce out and do something else.
I will say this. College has to get their timeline under control. One, because I think that the window to transfer closes like at the end of the week. So that's why you see Mendoza automatically going into the portal the day after winning that championship, because he only has so much time to declare for the portal. They have to. You seeing coaches taking jobs and not taking a team into the playoffs because of job openings. Like their timeline needs to be constructed. As much as they need to fix the bad part of NIL and that stuff, but the timeline now matters with NIL.
Did the bowl games extend the season?
Yes, 3 weeks.
Yes, I don't remember the 19th being a championship game.
Right.
More like the 5th, 7th, 8th, something like that.
Yeah, 3 weeks extra because of the extra teams you added for, that's a 16-game season now, is what they played.
My man Jordan said they brought in a different quarterback. He doesn't want to sit if we're talking about the little brother. But if he can ball, why is he sitting, Jordan?
He was 2 in the depth chart. He was number 2 in the depth chart. He's been there. He knows the system.
Why? Yeah, he's a number 1 pick overall. Well, why would he be sitting? I don't know.
But shout out to their coach because their coach said at the beginning of the year,
Wonderful.
just win.
You come
Call
from
the shot.
JMU and you pull this off. And I looked him up. He started coaching in the 70s. I think it's a high school coach. I think 77, 78. Been in the game for a long time. Was assistant for years, assistant in Alabama. Just popped his head up 2 opportunities ago, right before JMU. He was at another small school. And, that guy is he's to the Nats ass on what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I like his style. I like a coach like that.
And he had a bunch of 23 to he's the oldest team in college. A bunch of 23 to 26-year-olds on his team.
Yeah. What about Carson Beck? Did he just jack up some money? Miami's quarterback.
I don't know. I don't even think he was actual real, NFL prospect in the first place. So he's
Really?
he graduated 2 years ago, right?
I know this.
Right. He's been eligible to road to the draft for like 3 years.
But New Orleans quarterback. How is he? New Orleans. What?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like 2025, yeah.
Yeah. If it happened for him, you think Beck's thinking?
Again.
He just started some games. Yeah, he had a green kaboom that just sold.
Beck didn't go to the NFL after winning the national championship with Georgia.
Well, you know how long Bo Nix was in Oregon? Come on now. If people look at these other guys like if they did it.
But like I said, I'm getting my money. I'm getting a bunch of money to go to work one day a week. Like he ain't been in class for 2 years. He just been enrolled in the school.
Yeah, they asked him at the press conference. It was like, "How does it feel to be?" He's like, "I'm not a student."
Oh yeah, Jimmy. Want to talk about that Jimmy injury?
Big Jon, I wasn't even gonna bring that up because I know how you feel about my man, but his career is over.
Yeah.
His career is
it's
over.
not gonna be the same.
Well, he's been in what? Wasn't he rookie like 2012, 2011?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, this is people forget that the normal career is only like 6 to 8 years, right? Like you're running double that, and you're still a big name in the league, and now you've got an injury 14 years in. You may as well hang it up, no matter how much you enjoy it.
Well, I mean, you got a year of getting back on your feet, and then when are you going to be playing?
Right.
Jimmy's what, 34, 35?
Yeah, and he's $40 million to the cap.
Well, they're about to trade this dude, man. He's got.
Yeah.
You end up seeing him in a jersey or probably sweats or anything. Is he sit at the game tonight? Where he go?
Well, they can't trade him until he's injured, so they can't trade him into the offseason, I don't believe.
They traded Trey Young. Trey Young's injured.
Trey Young have a significant injury.
They traded Melton. Melton had an ACL tear last year. Golden State traded him. Yeah, this dude's gone, man.
See, I feel like someone on injury should be allowed to be traded if the other team is willing to take the risk, right? You let the medical examiners understand it. It's not like it's a hidden injury and you're trying to dump them.
On a rebound. Man. As soon as I saw it, personally, I don't know how long it was after it happened. I hit that Big Jon like, my man is gone. This is over with.
Yeah.
That was like when Brink tore her ACL. That was ugly.
That's who? Like when who tore her ACL?
When Cameron Brink tore her ACL in Connecticut, that was ugly. Like when she got carried off, I was right there. Like you knew it was over. So like you can see an injury and know what's happening or not for sure.
Yeah, when that kneecap doesn't look right and you see the crazy wicked angle leg.
Oh yeah.
And the look on Steph's face. I went back and looked at that. He was just like looks shocked.
And they've been on a good roll. They won 12 of the last 16. So.
But when you rolling with Draymond, Steph, and Jimmy, any one of them could be out of there, and all three of them could be. I hate to say it, but when you got that age like that, and you're running, and you're still making significant moves, man. I hate to hear that for Jimmy Butler, though. I like him a lot.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy Butler's my favorite player. So I'm sad that he's injured, but we'll see where he goes next.
Jordan brings up something that I was just talking to a friend about 2 hours ago. What if Steph said? Now, I'm not saying he's going to say this, but what if Steph Curry said, "I'm gone. I got 3 years left. I got 2-3 years left." You drop him, and there are several teams. They're a finals contender.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a very efficient guy. So he could play 20-some minutes a night and have 20-some points and go sit down. He doesn't have to run the show. There could be other scorers, other people. He's never tested those waters. Jordan I was just thinking about this. If that guy said, "I'm out," the whole NBA is different.
And the Warriors gotta look at it like that, because you need this trade deadline. You need to get him exactly what he wants, because, and I said this, he had look how long his Under Armour deal was until they started messing up, and he cut him off. Like, I'm done. Like, he's at a point where he's okay with making those decisions about his legacy and his business. Could he go to the Celtics? Nah.
I don't see him going to the Celtics. Would you want to play with Tatum and Brown?
Yeah. Not if I was Curry, though.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That, you know what? That's a fair answer. I would, sure. Curry, not.
Not enough. I mean, again, Jaylen Brown should be in the MVP conversation with the way he got that team rolling right now. I'm not saying he's gonna win it, but there
Big
is some
Jon,
more.
you know Jaylen Brown.
I know why.
Never going to be in the MVP conversation. Never. And I don't even say that word. Never.
And the politics don't prevent it. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's balling.
He is. Much respect to him. Yes.
I've always said he's better than Tatum.
I agree with you, sir. I've never really liked Tatum's game, so I definitely agree with you, but that dude could be averaging 50 points a game. He'll be averaging 50 points a game. Where would you see him going? Just curious. I don't want to get to name it, but I feel like there's several teams. Did you drop a Steph Curry in?
It'd be somewhere in the East.
Why does it have to be the East?
I don't think they would trade him in the West to a contender. I don't think they're not going to trade him to Denver. They won't trade him to the Lakers. They're not going to trade him to OKC.
So you don't think at this point they honor where this man wants to go?
Would a contender matter, though, if you're not going to be contending anymore?
No, he wants to go contend. That's why he wants to get traded. If he's not going to contend.
No. I mean, for where they trade him, right? Let's just say he goes to
I agree with you, Scott.
Minnesota, Denver on the West. Like, why does it matter if this is a time as a franchise for you to worry about rebuilding and not where you send your best player ever?
Yeah, what is your loyalty to this man?
The contender teams don't have assets to give you back to rebuild with. They either don't have trades or they don't have young enough players. You got to get 50
OKC's got a crazy lineup of draft picks in the next couple of years, don't they?
They do. That's the only one. But they trade. He wants to go to OKC.
Well, so what's he going to go team up with?
I think OKC would be bananas because this came up in the conversation that I had. What if
they got to match? Who can match $50 million without giving up the pieces that contend them? So if OKC traded for Curry, J-Dub is gone. Okay. And maybe J-Dub, Hartenstein, and a draft pick is probably going to make the money work.
Okay. What's the problem?
I don't say that's a problem. I'm just saying that's what they have to give up, and if they want to do that.
What about if he went to Denver?
So Golden State would have to want Jamal Murray.
Yeah, they want him. Yeah.
But
I just want Curry with the Joker.
But Denver's draft picks are not good enough for a rebuild.
Okay. Who's rebuilding? Golden State?
Yeah, Golden State. Well, trading Curry one for a rebuild.
As soon as Curry leaves Golden State, done for 20 years, man. It's over with. It's a wrap. It's like the 20 years before he got there.
So then all right, so go off that topic, right? Let's just say that they're cooked for the next 20 years anyway. Then you trade for a player that's going to keep your draw for at least a couple of years.
There you go.
Not contending, but at least a draw.
Butts and seats, watch it on TV. Make it interesting.
So you being the Bulls. So you want to be the Chicago Bulls. That's what the Bulls do. They want to be mediocre.
Yeah, I mean, but people still watch the Bulls.
I mean, if you're not going to win anyway, may as well at least be somewhat mediocre to sell the seats and keep profitable.
See somebody with a jersey on every now and then walking down the street. Let that man breathe. Let that man breathe.
It's the perfect time for Milwaukee to go all in and trade and put him and Giannis together in Milwaukee.
Hold up. Put Curry with Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Man, that's a dead market, man. Come on. Will you really see him in Denver?
No.
I would.
I'd like to see him in Denver with the 03 jerseys. Bring back that powder blue.
Yeah.
Bring back that Carmelo Anthony era of jerseys.
Right now. Yeah. That would be nice. With the Iguodala played in when he went over there. Yeah.
Draymond went up in the Pistons. He's already said it. If we're not going to play for championship, send me home.
Oh, yeah. He says that. Okay. What are Pistons going on?
I mean, they're going to be a good playoff team.
Okay. That's what people said about Cleveland last year.
I don't know who would even want Draymond. I mean, he feels like too much of a fireball for a lot of the teams to want to deal with that.
That's why I don't think he can even play for a rebuilding or a team that's not really done.
That's why I say Detroit, because he'll be home, and Detroit puts up with Isaiah Stewart. So that's
yeah.
I mean, Isaiah Stewart did do a decent job getting LeBron's face that one time, and that's what ended his career.
Mm-hmm.
With that blood flowing that time? My thing is this about that situation. How many people do you have to run through or hold you before you get to where you're trying to go? You know how strong Isaiah Stewart is? Who could really hold you back?
Yeah.
If you really wanted to get there.
Just imagine Shaq bailing through people.
Yes. It would be like a bowling pin falling. That always cracks me up in sports. Everybody's trying to get somewhere but not getting there. Curry to Houston? I don't like that. I want him to be somewhere where somebody's playing defense.
Well, didn't someone say Houston before too?
Might have. I don't know about Houston. That would put him and Durant back together? I don't know about that. We'll see. I would love to see that guy say.
See, I'd rather pick the Celtics over Houston, because let's just say you don't want to play with Tatum and Jalen, but you also just want that third man 20-minute role. You've got two other young guys already taking that role from you anyway, so you get what you want. You get to enjoy hopefully a win, a championship, and you get to just put in your quick time and go home. I think it would be a shame if he left, though. I mean, he'd be one of the very few that had one full career lately in one team. I do think it'd be a shame, but also, don't blame these last 2 to 3 years guys for moving around.
I mean, yeah. Him and Jokic could be the last two people to pick their teams.
We just need Curry with 5 rings by any means necessary.
You want that 5 so bad.
Bro, we got to get one for that thumb. Yeah. Separate himself from LeBron for real, for real.
Speaking of rings and stuff, I ever tell you guys about my Tatum collection I had before they lost that Game 7 at home to the Cavs?
No.
Oh, man. I had the best Tatum collection you'd ever want. I mean, for the level of the hobby I was in at the time. And then he lost that game, and it looked like he just did not care about trying to win basketball, or call it scripted, whatever you want to call it, for that Game 7. But that was such a poor performance, in my opinion. I sold everything.
I had
You
some
just had to
Tatum
get rid of
cards I got rid of around that time.
I thought he was done. I thought he just threw in the towel. He didn't care. I was out.
You know, I got excited when he had that massive game against Brooklyn in the playoffs. He had, I think, 2 games in a row that were massive. I was like, oh man, this dude might be on another level. And
Yep.
not really.
One of my first ever sports cards getting back in was a Revolution on card BGS Quad 9.5 auto of his. And I just started, and I accidentally met the guy too. So that helped to want to collect his stuff.
Mm-hmm. What was he like when you met him?
What's that?
What was he like when you met him?
Oh, it was nice. I mean, it was a signing up at the Basketball Hall of Fame. I didn't know anything about college. Like I said, I don't really follow college, and they just had a Celtics draft pick doing a meet and greet, and it happened to be Tatum, and I went to it.
Okay.
So it was right. It was right after he got drafted. He seemed like definitely a cool guy, but after that Game 7 loss at home, I had Prism greens and red, white, and blues. You know, Beckett 9.5s, which is crazy to say in today's world when Beckett used to be neck and neck with PSA.
Yep.
You know, PSA 10s, I sold everything. I was done.
Jordan asked the question, is Curry legacy tainted if he goes somewhere else? Was LeBron's legacy tainted?
I would go with no. People would try to put an asterisk on it if he goes to Denver to win another one, right? But how do you blame a guy in the last couple of years for doing that?
Yeah, but Sammy, I'm trying to figure out, why is LeBron legacy not changing? He's jumped around America. So.
You don't be answering that
one. Sammy, break it down to me, baby. How does that work?
I'm the biggest LeBron fan. I can answer that one for you.
Talk to me. This dude has changed teams, remove rosters, complete rosters. Is it tainting him?
I think it changes teams more often than some people shower.
Yeah. Got people promoted. GMs.
Getting people fired.
Got black. I ain't seen that dude since. Is he overseas? I don't even know where his career is now. LeBron looking at him, he's gone. LeBron looked at Aiden like a week ago. I'm surprised Aiden's still here.
I really thought Bronny was going to be better this year.
Nah.
No, I mean, the reason for me to say that early on was, like, could you imagine being in the footsteps of your dad? Could you imagine handling the mental abuse of the media, just saying how absolutely trash you are night after night after night, and having your first year not be good for that reason because you're just in your own head, and then like taking the summer to develop, learn a little more, and kind of like get out of it and come into year 2 stronger? I really thought he was not going to be amazing, but I think I mentioned it on our last meeting of the 3 of us that I just thought that he was potentially going to have a better second year getting out of that mental side.
I just wonder, if you're Bronny, why did you play another sport? Like, why did you choose basketball?
If obviously none of us will ever know that answer without being in the household, but I think a lot of parents push their kids to do what they want to do and what they think they should do. And I don't think a lot of parents allow the free spirit development of kids to choose what they want to do.
I can't follow your father's footsteps, right? You are a junior. You know,
I can't sing to save my life. My son loves to sing. If he wants to learn how to sing better, I'll get him lessons to sing. Like, I'm not going to hold him back from it because I didn't know how to do it, you know? Just like I'm not going to force him to go down a banking career that I had or anything else just because I think finance is the way to go. Like, you gotta learn as a parent, you gotta learn and develop your kids, you know, obviously with your morals and ethics, but to understand their strengths.
It's true.
A fish can't fly.
Because in high school, Bronny was Bronny.
So how much would that 1-of-1 Bronny and Bron do an auto sell for now, the super factor?
Fraction.
What you say?
I was like, I wonder how much would it sell for now?
What did Scott say?
Oh, I said a fraction of what it did.
Big Jon, you remember me telling you that this car is not gonna make it.
You did say that, and I know the person who pulled it, and I'm so happy for him. Because if he'd have held it right now, we talking about maybe 5,000, 10,000, maybe.
It's almost like taking a card and cutting it in half with a pair of scissors.
Mm-hmm.
The other half just ain't. It's not gonna make it.
You got to remember, as you're pulling and collecting a brand new set, if it isn't going to fit your collection and it has value today, let it go.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if it goes up tomorrow. It doesn't matter if it goes down tomorrow. You made a choice based on your collection, and no matter what you get for that card, gives you the cash power to buy something else enjoyable for your collection instead. And whatever happens for someone else's risk on it is up to them.
Very true, sir.
Hey, listen, sell what I want. Let me get some old Jimmy Butlers, Kobe Whites, Montez Fords, and I'll be happy. So Scott, how many shows do you have planned this year so far?
4. We're sticking with 4.
Just sticking with the 4. February, June, September, November?
Yes, sir. I got to actually sign and pay for the November contract. I got an email a week ago, and I've just been lazy on that one. But it'll be Black Friday weekend. So all the weekends this year are super easy to remember. Valentine's Day, Father's Day, Labor Day, Black Friday weekend. It'll be very easy.
Okay.
Very cool.
I know what weekends I'm taking off.
I also have one comment to say about the Valentine's Day one. So this 2025, we ran Valentine's Day weekend, but it was 15/16 to where the Friday was Valentine's Day. Now, I've had a lot of mixed comments about the Valentine's Day itself, right? Being on Saturday this year. And I'll give you all 3 sides of those comments. Number one is people are very excited to go together. If they collect together, they'll use our show to enjoy Valentine's Day together and build their collections. The second side is obviously you're getting me in trouble with my wife or my girlfriend. Why'd you pick that day? And the third one is the wife is very excited that you won't be home. And so she can have a day to herself. And to the middle one, I tell everyone this. Why are you only taking her out on Valentine's Day? There's 364 other days in the year. Yeah. Also, for dinner purposes, I don't like a restaurant to tell me what their menu is for Valentine's Day. I like to enjoy dinner the way I want to, not the way you want to sell it to me. So we can also skip dinner on Valentine's Day for that reason as well. All right.
Scott, I agree with everything you just said, sir.
And it could be the weekend of loving your collectibles with us at the same time.
That's right.
Man, it also for the person who listen. A lot of restaurants at Mohegan Sun. They're nice for Valentine's Day.
I will add this massive asterisk to that right now. If you didn't have a reservation as of about 2.5 hours ago, you probably don't have one at any time anyway. So do not go into the event thinking you're going to just pick a restaurant while you're there that night and have dinner. Because remember, it is Valentine's Day.
I don't need a restaurant for Chick-fil-A.
Big Jon's not playing right now. He's not playing.
There's gonna be a long line at Chick-fil-A, that's for sure.
There's a long line. Hey, listen, there's rules. Listen, I get to go to Mohegan Sun. I can buy whatever cars I want, as long as I come home with some Chick-fil-A and Krispy Kremes. Everything is good in the household.
I also like to remind people it's Valentine's Day, but most people go out for dinner. So like you can still go to the show, get home in time to take her out to dinner. It's not a big deal.
The vendors are more in a hard spot, you know.
I mean, I'm lucky. Nicole helps with everything with the convention, and when we will be together 21 years this year, and we've never celebrated Valentine's Day anyway. So I'm lucky on that aspect. I also don't only wait for Valentine's Day to take her out to dinner.
Yeah,
I do the same thing. I don't wait, and we don't do anything on that day. And not like out and about at a restaurant or anything like that.
No, I don't want to be out at all that day if I don't have to.
I don't do anything outside. No.
Many crazy people.
Meanwhile, we've been together 15 years. We don't celebrate any holidays. We always go out. But back when my son was younger, I used to get out of Valentine's Day easily because it was also my son's birthday. So yeah, whoever I was talking to, hey, I don't really have time for you today.
Big Jon got
Just-
that hand. Look at
So I wiggled out of all Valentine's responsibilities.
I support it.
Huh? Gotta be slick with it,
Oh, my first love was cars anyway. Sammy, is that what you learned?
That's a good one too.
Is that what you saying to folks?
I grew up loving my cards before I met you.
Right. Peter got that. I'm saying with Christmas. Yeah. Interesting.
Oh. So who do y'all have? I know we got Rikishi for February, and who else?
Rikishi and his son.
Which one?
That's a great question.
It's like 40 of them. No, is it not?
Nicole. So Rikishi texted me asking if he could come back because he had such a great experience the first time we had him. I'm gonna butcher his name, but it's Thamiko. That's his.
Tamiko.
And I guess his name is like the indigenous one.
Yeah, Tamiko. He's a wrestler on the Independence. Yes.
Yeah.
So he's behind
they're coming
Zilla.
together.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
And then our biggest guest since Bernie Williams is Rodney Harrison. So he won 2. I thought he won 3, but he only won 2 Super Bowls with Brady on the early era.
Yeah, that Giants Super Bowl got away from him.
Yeah. And it's funny, like you think of like the early players, you just assume they won the first 3 with Brady, no matter who they were.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have our typical, couple Pokemon voice actors, keeping it lighter on the autograph side for a couple reasons. I mean, cards are our primary thing, right? I don't ever want to be compared to like a Chantilly or Chicago Spectacular National with, hundreds of guests lined up and everything. Like, we are a card show at heart. The guests are a great touch for marketing, a great touch for that overlap, but they're not our primary focus. And some dealers have a concern that too many guests actually draw money out of the room. So, when you are a card focused event, you don't want to deviate too far. So we've actually been almost limiting to a certain number of guests going forward instead of adding too many that we added in the past sometimes. Not that it never backfired. It's just we're testing a couple things to see where the success really falls.
I always wonder how many people do both. I mean, people collect autographs and actually dive into cards of whatever type.
Very high overlap on the TCG side. I'd say much lower overlap on the sports side nowadays. And I can actually be a prime example of that. So I've gone to card shows on a technicality since like 2009, but I never went to the card show. I went for the Patriot guest that I felt like meeting that was announced at it. So I was the guy that showed up for the autograph and left. I never walked the show.
Yeah, I've been at shows and only received the autograph.
Yep.
Then I've been to shows I've only looked at cards, and I've only been at one show now, 1 or 2. I've done both in my life.
Yeah.
So, yep.
And now that I'm ingrained on the show side more, if I would go to a different show, although before opening the shop, now that I have the shop, I have no time for other shows. No disrespect to any of the great shows out there. It's just I've never wanted to deviate from our customer base. If you both drove out to our shop on a Saturday and I have a close sign that I'm at some random show, you may not try again the following Saturday questioning where I'm going to be. So I'd rather keep the consistency for our friends and customers that come to the shop than to bounce around show to show. Mm-hmm. But even when I went to other bigger shows, I was either just going for cards or I was going as staff to help the autograph side and then look at cards in my downtime. So I can't say I've actually ever gone to another event to meet someone as well as go there for cards.
like I said, so one of the first events I had one of my friends come with me. They were excited to get a couple of voice actor autographs. And then and they do cards a little bit, but they did anime stuff more.
Right.
And then this time, last time, the wrestlers you had, he got all the autographs of the wrestlers. He was very excited to see them, and even gave their daughter a 3D printed a toy from their daughter, because their daughter like sharks or whatever, and 3D printed them a toy as a gift for him. So I mean, depending on what you have, it'll bring in. As you know me, I always get the WNBA autographs when they're there. I'll see if I can find something I want Rikishi to sign this time, and we'll see how that goes. But I think it's a good mix of people. I didn't get it the first couple times with the voice actors until I actually had my friend come like, yeah, this actor does this character and this stuff. Because like I watched Pokemon when I was a kid. I watched Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid. I don't watch those things now. Like I can't get into things like One Piece and stuff like that. There's no interest in that.
The live action's cool. You don't have to care about One Piece or the trading card game. The live action's cool.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. I might try to watch it, actually. I might try to watch it.
I mean, it's not.
I didn't like the Avatar live action.
It's more of just like you're watching a TV show, that happens to do with pirates.
Yeah. No, I just didn't like the Avatar live action when they did that. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to want to watch the One Piece one.
Yeah. I'm also that person that like my attention span is very short. So like I don't critique movies or critique shows. So like I love the Fast and Furious series. I know the last couple of movies are so ridiculously far-fetched it could never actually happen. And people like they're fake. Like, yeah, it's a movie. And it kept my attention. And I like it. Like I'm a simple person when I decide if I like something or not.
Sammy said here.
Good question, Sammy.
We could differentiate car shows from the TCG stuff. Strictly have sports car shows and TCG shows, not put them together. He says, I feel like I'm wasting my time when shows are 70% TCG and all the tables seem to not be geared towards sports.
I will tell you why I will never agree with that statement. So from day one, first of all, as a kid, I collected both. I was, the beginning of Pokemon, I collected mostly basketball. When I met Larry Fitzgerald, I didn't even know who he was because I really did not follow football enough to even understand who I was meeting on the football side, unless it was a Patriot player from the family. I only went to Super Bowl parties to watch the Super Bowl every year with the family, right? Like I was absolutely a basketball kid. I had a closet of jerseys. I had Pokemon cards as a kid, basketball cards as a kid. My event would not be where we are today if it wasn't for the balance of the mix, and you are watching every event do the same thing now. Specifically, some local events that thought it was a moron for it, if we're going to be transparent, are now begging Pokemon and TCG dealers. And here's why. As a friends group, you have four friends going you to a show. Everyone is going to be interested in something different. And creating two different events, or creating Saturday for TCG and Sunday for sports, or vice versa, or whatever, it is not the mix that is going to keep events alive going forward. The old school 100% sports card show is gone, because even a lot of your sports dealers are jumping on the TCG hype. I can't even keep track of half of our sports dealers that have added Pokemon, right? But we've had them since day one. I've had some sports dealers do full flips to Pokemon because that's where the money is. We also have, let's just say 30, 40 card shops in the area from, Pennsylvania to Maine that join our show that are, like me, a well-rounded shop for the availability of product. Now, I may be a shop that has high Pokemon success and high customer base of Pokemon, but I'm still a well-rounded shop when you walk in. I'm not going to sign up for an event that I can't bring both of my inventory and be able to appeal to everyone. And then the number one key factor of why you could never split both up at this point is there are so many parents that are, especially an event like ours where kids 12 and under are free in order to keep that fun family atmosphere. There are so many parents that are getting into this collecting hobby again, that their kids like Pokemon, but they're enjoying the sports. So you're going to remove an entire family's fun weekend because someone is like, oh, I don't want to see Pokemon cards. I only want to see sports. Well, guess what? My first show ever was 60 tables. My current show is 300. Even if I was 170 Pokemon and 130 sports, I'm still more than double my first ever show just in sports tables. So that's, I may sound very defensive on that, but that's my take on it. And we would never be where we are today if we weren't appealing to everything.
Well, you know, Big John and I talk about stuff sometimes, and I just go to basic scenarios. Would you shop at a grocery store that just sold cereal?
No, that's why Walmart is so successful.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to see them, and another comment that we get often is, well, make the left side of the room sports and the right side of the room Pokemon. No, because if I was Pokemon only and John was sports only, and we booked 2 tables together because we watch each other's stuff and we're really good friends, you can't segregate each side based on a topic, and that's not how you meet people in this hobby. That's not how you have fun in this hobby. And I'm sorry if you don't want to see a topic that you're not interested in. We're still getting 4,000 to 6,000 people through the doors who don't have the same complaint. And when I have sports dealers that are doing a couple $100,000 in sales on a show, I don't believe that there's not enough people walking through for the sports. And then if you talk to dealers, right, a 300 table Pokemon show of just Pokemon is very watered down for the dealer. A 300 table show of just sports is very watered down for the dealer. But when you remove half of both, you now have half the dealers to compete with to give the consumer a better experience at the show and have happier dealers and happier interactions and happier foot traffic.
And you notice how most people don't talk about that? The scenarios where you have the same cards at every table, the same players at every table.
So I can tell you from the shows that I've done, my first show I ever did, I didn't have any Pokemon. And the last 2 hours, I've only saw 1 or 2 people. But people store tables that had Pokemon and sports, we're still seeing people. The last EC3 show I came late to, the people who had sports last hour, there was a lot of those tables not being looked at. Every Pokemon table had somebody in front of them for the last hour. You know, so
different
consumers. Yeah. And there's completely different negotiations happening from a sports side to the Pokemon side. My last show I had the Pokemon, people were just, I'll take that $3. I'll take that. We then one looking up comps and one trying to negotiate for. Every sports card besides like 2 were, let me look at card letter. Let me look at this. Let me try to flip. I had kids coming around trying to flip cards they were buying in a room to take from table to table, and it was all sports. There are more collectors in the TCG space than there are in the sports. From my point of view.
I have 2 other comments when people give me the feedback. Because don't get me wrong, as a show, I want feedback. If I'm not willing to listen to feedback, then I'm not willing to try to change, adapt, and do the right thing moving forward. At the same time, I'm going to understand if your feedback is very biased just because you're a sports guy that doesn't want to see Pokemon, right? When you walk into, especially our show, and you look around the room, the reason why it looks Pokemon heavy when you have your head up and you're looking and scanning, most Pokemon dealers are proud of their logo, proud of their business. And I'm not trying to call anyone out in a negative way. You can walk into a show and you can see it. And there are banners of their logos. Or this one guy puts Pikachu balloons in the air so you know where his table is. Hey, you want to find me? Just look for the Pikachu balloon. It's 30 feet above my table. You can't miss it, right? Not a lot of sports dealers have their logos. They have a sign this big at their table that says buying with their logo on it. Like, people are not getting the table banners. They're not putting pride behind their logo. And you're starting to see a shift in that as you walk into shows, right? Even my own table, I never had banners at my own table because the show wasn't about me. But we added banners to our table because everyone's always like, oh, Scott, I want to see your table. So now we have banners at our table as well for the marketing. And I have a very good vendor team. So if anyone watches this, I'm not calling anyone out in a negative way. It's just as you scan the room and you take the feedback of what you're looking at, there are more Pokemon logos with banners than there are sports logos with banners. And then I had a very good guy that I respect give me feedback at the last show that he thought, once again, it was too heavy Pokemon. And I have receipts of what our tables are as long as people are telling me the right information. I know the percentages. I know everything. And he told me he couldn't even find one of his friends to make a deal because it was just too Pokemon heavy. And I said, so I have to be your eyes too? Like, so he walked by this busy table thinking it was a Pokemon table and it was a sports table. And he never even saw it because until day 2 when it was less busy. And I was like, oh, so you're mad a sports table was busy at a Pokemon heavy event? Like, what do I need to do your deals for you? Like, what's happening here? You know?
But to your point, I just got Cove to try to get a banner for the table and all that stuff, and just see how much that costs. Because I'm really enjoying vending. I didn't think I would, but I'm really enjoying it. So I'm like, but you have more auxiliary Pokemon stuff at these shows now, in around not just your show, but like you have people who make the 3D printed Pokeballs, and there's people who are knitting Pokeballs and knitting Pokemon, and they have trinkets of Pokemon to sell along with cards. You don't see anybody else. Sports tables are just sports cards, dollar bill case, and I'm buying. A lot of Pokemon tables don't have a buying sign. Yeah, right. There's no buying sign. There's Pokemon. We're talking, we're enjoying, we're sharing stories. Like, because I know some of the Pokemon vendors. I've made friends with some of them at your show and shows I've been at. I have friends that I got friends who didn't do anything with cards until I told them, hey, there's going to be Pokemon at this show, and they're like, oh yeah, I got Pokemon cards. I'm starting to buy them, and I've brought them to the show, and they walked with them from there. That point of view, and it was like, this is amazing. Right, I can just talk to people in my element, and these are very reserved, dare I say, shy people.
Right.
But they get people in that culture that they're in, and I'm like, I'm gonna leave, and y'all have that because I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, and I get defensive about those comments, as I'm sure I sounded defensive in a lot of how I was explaining it. But again, I would not be where we are today as an event for this hobby if we were not well balanced on all sides in order to attract the customer base and the fans and the friends that we attract.
I'll say this: as long as I've been in a hobby since I was 8 years old, it's not the place for easily adoption of change. I've never seen. I remember going to shows that were all baseball. Bring a football card in there. Bring a basketball card in there. People are clowning you.
And again, Scott, I'm biased to your show, but I've seen, as somebody who primarily does wrestling now, I've seen the more wrestling tables have come in. I've seen more hockey tables come in since the first show I've been to. Just walking around the show, I've seen the overall change of more vendors and more different variety that you get. Like there only been one table of hockey maybe 4 or 5 shows ago, and now there's like at least 6 I've seen. And this just me walking around looking and just kind of see what everybody has, because you know me, I'll walk around for like 2 hours before I say I'm done.
I would also argue that on the wrestling side, there's actually more of an overlap to anime with wrestling fans than there is sports.
Yeah.
So if you split a show up, you're alienating half of your wrestling fans that don't care about the rest of the sports.
I've seen some cool Hulk Hogan's. I think one vendor is a brother of a WWE wrestler now. Like I've had a bunch of different conversations throughout some of these shows and seeing people. And
at the end of the day, any show, no matter what information is there, no matter what product is there, no matter what dealers is there, the experience you get out of it is what you want to get out of it. Unless it's just angry, crappy dealers, then as an attendee, you're going to have a bad experience. And that is absolutely at the fault of the show and the vendors. But if you have a well-run show, a well-oiled show, and you have vendors who are friendly and and respectful and enjoying it, if you get a negative experience out of that day, you chose a negative experience out of that day.
Yeah. So
another thing people don't talk about in shows is the networking. I don't ever hear anybody talking about that. So I may go to a show and meet Big Jon, and I may buy a car from him 4 months later, 3 months later, 3 weeks later. But nobody really I purchased a lot of cars from people by talking to them and letting them know what I'm looking for. Yep. And please keep an eye out. And if someone hits me up later, just because I met them at this show. But I don't hear anybody talking about that.
Yeah. This is going to sound biased as a showrunner, but there's 2 things I wish all dealers would do and to learn. Number 1 is if you sell on eBay, if you sell on any platforms, if you're at other shows, have a business card, especially if you enjoy buying collections, that says, I buy collections. I know you bought from me, but if you are ever in a position where you want to sell something, come find me. Along with that business card should be some sort of flyer for every event that you're going to be at next. If you gave that person a good experience today, they might get a paycheck on Friday and want to meet you again on Saturday at a different show. And if you don't tell them where you're going to be, it's not, you're helping to create your own fan base, your own customer base, your own people are looking for you. And along the side, the second part of that is social media. Like, I wish all vendors would post about where they're going to be for their followers to know what events are out there, because not everyone gets targeted by, and again, I'm talking selfishly as a promoter on this one, but not everyone gets targeted by our ads, no matter how much money we put into it. And they might see that you're going to be somewhere and they've always wanted to meet you. So put it out there.
And not even wait to the last minute or the day of to promote what show they're going to. A lot of people, a lot of people I know are doing the show I'm doing in February 1st because they've already posted on Instagram they're doing it.
Right.
And I've already added them because I've seen the posting, So a lot of people that are doing your show in February 14th, I've already started posting. I'm doing it February 14th. Mohegan's the next big show. And that's more than just, like Big Ken and DJ, people that I know personally. I've seen getting things that you've tagged or you tagged in from New York and, Maine and all those other places. My biggest thing one of the first smaller news shows I went to was the Guilford show. And I had a fine experience because I'm open-minded. And when I walked through, there was a lot of Pokemon. And every sports car dealer was talking to the next dealer saying how they didn't like so much Pokemon being in there. But none of those dealers was saying hi to anybody who's coming to their table.
Correct.
When I walked past, they just looked and let me know what you're looking for. And that's, as being in sales, that's not how you're going to get me to buy anything.
But we know that the hobby, and this is no knock against people, the hobby is filled with introverted people. Who they may
absolutely.
And they may want to vend, but they're not comfortable with that level of interaction, and it becomes stressful for them. And then the cars sell themselves. You just need to look at my table, and I really don't want to talk to you. And it's a lot of that.
I don't. Me personally, and maybe because my personality, even if you don't buy, I've had 20-minute conversations about wrestling, about baseball with people, and they bought nothing for me. And they say, I have people come to like asking me when the show because they want to buy Star Wars autos from me, right? So, but I didn't know this, and if I just sat down, looked at my phone, and didn't say anything, I would never know these people. Now I'm talking to them, and we didn't make a deal, but we made a connection. I feel like next time I see you, we're gonna have another talk. We're gonna talk.
But that's why you're a better vendor, as an example, for events. Whether you had a good sales day or not, you're a happy person. You're a good person. You're looking to have that networking interaction, whether they never buy from you ever. You just want to pass the time and enjoy the day. And you're the good type of vendor that's giving that positive experience for people to want to come back. And that's why you can't just let every single person that DMs you get a table at an event. You have to control. Sorry to everyone on our wait list, because our wait list is over 800 tables deep right now, but you have to control the quality of the person entering the event.
I mean, If you go with the right mindset, then it can be a good plan. But again, that's advice I got from you last time we were on doing my first show. Just worry about talking to people.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm sorting cars that I want to sell or make sure I'm priced right for those people who don't talk. But I know me, I'm going to be standing up. Hey, how you doing? What you collect? Well, who's your team? Whatever you
You know
got.
what I don't have at my shop? A chair for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I
You are always
100% of the time I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I was just sitting like this at the computer pricing stuff, hey, how are you? Like it's not a good experience.
Yeah.
I can have a 30-minute conversation with you and still price 300 cards right in front of you and be fully engaged in your conversation, because the pricing of cards is such at times a daunting, numbing activity that actually talking to you for that 30 minutes makes pricing those cards go faster.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was just sitting at my chair, like I didn't give a crap, it would not be the same experience walking into the shop. I literally do not have a chair. I don't have space for a chair for how narrow the space is behind my counter. I do not have a chair to sit in. I am standing 100% of the time that I'm in that shop.
Yeah. And Scott's like 6'3", right? He's tall. So
yeah,
standing just haven't been
a
noticed.
slightly higher counter for me so I can stand up a little better and not end up like this all day.
Yeah.
But
So I imagine that wears on you sometimes.
Well, there's vendors out. We create content, and we don't put a camera in everyone's face.
Right.
There are vendors that won't even let you record their table.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I don't have any agreement with that at all. I don't see any reason not to allow it. And in today's day and age of this hobby technology and the amount that people do want to share and have fun, if you are someone that is literally denying any type of, like, people ask me all the time, hey, can I take a picture of the stuff in your shop to send it to someone? Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, I kind of want you to do that, because your friend is like, hey, I'll pay you back, grab this. Like, it helps my sales. But at the same time, if it wasn't a sales focused thing, it's people don't understand what's at a card shop. If they've had a bad experience at a different one, they're not going to walk into another one until they see what's there.
Yep.
So the photos actually help spread awareness of how good a shop is, how good a show is, how good some dealers are. I don't have any reason why someone shouldn't. You may not want to personally be on camera, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
But if someone wants to take a picture of your table or record your table, like, why not? Like, unless you're 3x priced on everything and shouldn't be.
Probably so. But I just chalk it up to that change. These are probably some of the same dealers that were set up before people had cell phones.
I always ask when I first get into your show, and I start going on Instagram out, like, hey, I'm on camera, you cool with that? I'm on live. And most people say, yeah, I'm fine. And if not, okay, I'll make sure I don't get you specific on it, just out of respect. I mean, you do have to respect people's personal wishes if they don't want themselves on camera. But yeah, let me see what you got. I
agree with that out of respect, but at the same time, in today's day and age, it's a public event, and there's 99 million cameras in every event, whether it's the cameras in the sky or the phone cameras or whatever. Like, you cannot prevent not being recorded.
They're being recorded while they're saying, I don't want to just say we're recorded.
Yeah.
People don't think like that, though.
Okay, out of respect, especially to some of the people that ones I know, I definitely out of respect to them, of my friends that don't be on camera. That's fine. I'm not going to go against that. I can maneuver around it. But I like showing so everybody can kind of see the atmosphere that you do provide and that's here and where I'm at. Like, hey, if you didn't think the 3-hour drive from New York was worth it, look at how this room looks. Look what's going on here. Look at the deals being made. It was worth the drive to try and see. Because for me, to drive 3 hours to New York, I make sure it's worth it for me to go to a show or go to a shop.
I'll still lean back on what I said a little while ago, too. Like, if anyone doesn't enjoy an event that they went to, assuming that the event is ran well and there's good personality of dealers, they're just not – they're not getting what they're getting out of the event what they want to get out of it, which is a negative experience, right? And maybe going to events is just not for them. Maybe buying on eBay is better. They don't care about trade nights to network. They don't care about connecting with people. That's totally fine. If you are that type of person, there's nothing wrong with that. I just wouldn't want to see an event get bashed by someone like that because they chose to take the negative out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've bashed any event I've ever been to. And like, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. If I didn't buy anything, but I'm different. I've seen people's. I mean, we know people who've bashed your events but they didn't do what was required to actually sell the stuff, and that's just on them. Some things are just on you as a vendor or you as a person coming in. Like people get, I've had people get mad at me for not buying their card, but there's nothing at my table that says I'm buying. I don't have the funds.
Check my feedback on Google. Check my Google reviews. Like 3 of our negative reviews are literally because I told people no thank you to an item they brought in, and they were told what they didn't want to hear. So I get affected by that because of that. And now I will be the first to admit that I have openly bashed other events if it was warranted, but I've bashed it openly in private, as in like to you off camera or to a trusted friend. I'm like, I wouldn't do that one again. And if people ask me, I just say, listen, I didn't have a good experience. I hope you do. Like, I will not openly publicly bash another event, but I have absolutely said my, piece about a couple events to people I trusted.
Yeah, but that's good. That's private. That's not openly like everybody else. I mean, Google reviews, I'll tell you right now, I don't give a damn about Google reviews about anything, any place of business. I personally don't. If you go look at my job and look at the reviews people give me when I don't subscribe to the customer's always right because they don't know what they're talking about.
That's because the customer is not always right.
Yeah, there are some things even back time when I was at GameStop, and this is funny. Somebody kept calling the phone on Switch 1 release, and I'm drowning with people in my store, with 100 people in my store, and ringing, and they're like, "Well, can you look up for me?" No, I cannot. I have a line of people. Call me tomorrow. I hung up, and he was mean. He was rude. Man, I have 100 people in the store right now trying to buy the Switch. I'm not going to look at how many I have for you on the phone. You're not getting one.
Well, and that is the unfortunate part of the phone side too, is the human nature and the phone side is the selfishness that they want their problem solved and they are not aware of what's happening in front of you.
Yeah. Like, man, I have 30 people in front of me right now. I need to take care of. I cannot look this up for you right now. Unfortunately, I'm not. Unless you want to stay on hold for the next 2 hours, I cannot.
Correct.
And so I've gotten bashed for the silliest things in my opinion. And of course, working for a corporation, I can't personally reply back. I just look at them like, okay, whatever. There's get to my wife, and then look at the other 30 good ones. How I treat you when you came into my store. Like I tell people all the time, I've worked in this community for the decade I've moved since I moved to Connecticut a decade ago. I can help. I've helped and been backwards for more people than I can even remember.
Right.
And the amount of people who, when they see me out, my wife's always like, "You know everybody, but you don't know nobody." I know that person. I've helped them. They remember me. I've treated them well. They remember me. Don't ask them what their name is. I don't know which job I seen them at, but we cool.
Yeah.
My wife was like, "Why is this old lady saying hi to you at the grocery store?" I don't know. I probably have to sometime point. I don't know.
Big Jon, you have a friendly face, man. Very friendly face.
Well, it's also because you enjoy talking to people too, so that helps.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So my advice would be not to get too bent out of shape over Google reviews, but I do know how they affect you being a small shop and people. That's the first thing people are going to see is the negative when they look it up. So
I respond to all of them, and people see how I respond in a professional manner and don't just accuse them of like, you're wrong and just, whatever. Like, I don't bark at them. So the majority of people that have come in lately saying, "Oh my God, I saw like the raving reviews," have never mentioned the negative one either. But also there's that weird side of social media where I shared the last 1-star review from the other day, and our Instagram stories usually get like 200 to 500 views depending on what it is, the day. I was getting 1,000+ views on every story for 24 hours because I put up something that had drama with it.
Oh yeah.
And I don't I don't like putting up and airing out any type of drama on our account when, again, I will 100% lean back to what I've said this whole time so far is shows, this hobby, everything should be positive to enjoy the experience. But everyone likes a little bit of drama, and people that do like us like to understand what is happening out there. So it's okay to show that negative side once in a while, but not every day, not every month, you know.
So me and FD occasionally we'll talk about views, and we'll notice that the a lot of times when we're not arguing with each other or from different point of views, the views are down. The views when you know I say he crazy too how he talks about LaMelo Ball, that segment is just blowing up, and like we don't people feed off of the negative stuff. And we generally try to have genuine conversations. And I think you being genuine, the people, it's more important for the people that like your positive content than to worry about the peekaboo views you get from the negative stuff. They just people just wanting drama. Like
I wouldn't even call you as like negative or drama though. I think on the sports side specifically, if we all just sat here praising Jordan for an hour, people would be like, "Okay, we get it. You guys like Jordan and want to give him a hug," but like. Well, if you have different opinions on,
like me with Curry, Big Jon. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, but if you have different opinions, let's just say I had a hot take that I don't think Curry's a top 5.
Yeah,
right. And we have a solid conversation about that. People are going to be more engaged than all three of us just saying, "Nah, Curry's definitely in top 5 next." Yeah. Like, so I think the engagement aspect of the like sports has always been built around rivalry or some sort of. Argument's the wrong word, but back and forth, right? And if all you're doing is agreeing for an hour, you're going to lose people for caring to hear what's next. Yeah. And also to back up for a quick second, I hope whoever suggested like the splitting up of shows of sports and Pokemon, I hope that they're still here watching, and I hope that they didn't feel too attacked.
I'm pretty sure
I felt the same way. I just watched a show that was mainly TCG. I feel the same way.
I'm pretty sure Sammy's still here somewhere. But no, I just think like we don't like some of the controversies you will see other people on YouTube talking about. We don't touch that stuff for the most part, and because like it's not that important. Like you don't think crime is going to happen. If you don't think crime is going to happen in a hobby, you are not paying attention to the world.
I don't even understand that.
People are not going to scam you.
Crime is going to happen. I don't get it. But like earlier, I joked about a green kaboom. That was a Dallas car show.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
That video has went everywhere. We could spend 20 minutes talking about that, but
I don't know enough about the value of those cards. I'm just reading what I was reading, right?
One side is favorable. One side is just a card.
Yeah. So the only thing I did not like about the video that's floating around is that the individual kept saying how many times they've spoken to them on the phone. Like every response was, "I just spoke to them on the phone. They're happy. They sold it." And it's like, why do you randomly have a person's phone number you did a deal with? I don't have 100% of phone numbers I've done deals with at all.
But see, when I saw the video and went through the comments, I went back to what Big Jon just said. I felt like that video, me personally, felt like that video was intentionally put out to create buzz and create views.
Absolutely.
Most of the video makes no sense.
Yeah.
If the father is in the deal, why isn't the father in the video?
Correct. Mm-hmm. And for all we know, maybe the deal was actually deeper than that, and you guys are 100% spot on that all they showed was that one card in order to get the views. Yeah. I would never want that negative, though. Personally.
The kid looked uncomfortable to me. The kid looked like...
Yeah.
I haven't seen that video, but I have a personal opinion that most videos you see of cards sold over 10K are manufactured video for views. Like we've seen big deals.
So you said something loud, Big Jon. Go watch this stuff.
I think any deal over $10,000 is that you see at a card show is a fake deal if we're going to be putting it out there like that. I've seen big deals happen in person, and there's too much money going around to be like, oh, let me get this on camera. Like I've I've seen people.
Okay,
at
all right.
sell,
So
sell,
you're saying every
Kobe's.
$10,000 deal and over is,
Yeah.
is crap. You're just saying the ones.
not every.
I can follow that.
I've seen people sell big time Kobe's, big time Patrick Mahomes card at your show. People who have cameras say, "Hold on, pause this. Let me pay attention to what we're negotiating right now."
Like I know a guy that bought a $40,000 Jordan from one of our dealers, and I can tell you that there is zero footage of that out there at all.
Scott, let me ask you this though: when that deal went down, was there a camera there?
No.
See, the bigger deals I've seen, there's no camera around.
And so here's
I don't want the internet to know that I have that type of money spending on the card as a safety issue.
I think it's less. I understand why people feel it's a safety issue, but also like if you do the math of what's walking through any given event, I think our event has about 100 million go through it in a weekend between inventory, cash power of dealers, and cash power of attendees walking through. So I think you could really follow anybody to their car at an event and it would be a safety issue, right? Like
I can see
that. I think that's just how this hobby is designed. You can go to a jewelry expo and guarantee that there's a safety issue on that aspect, which is why the casino and its security is such a big, important factor of our events as it is. But while this is a TCG example, actually, you know what? We have a TCG example and a sports example to balance the field. There was that 79 case of O-Pee-Chee that was sold for whatever $1 million, and it was never paid for. But the hype and buzz was around it, just like a guy during COVID who was definitely one of the crypto bros. Sorry to all the people that enjoy crypto out there. Would post a video of him and someone else showing up to buy a couple things for $300,000. Nothing stops them from at the end of that video never making that deal, but it created the buzz. This hobby is so focused on what I think we've all touched on a few times, and I know I definitely said earlier, if you just collect what you enjoy collecting, you can't get hurt by the FOMO. You can't get hurt by investing in the wrong player. And you can't get hurt by those videos that aren't real.
Well, I would add to that is buy in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a Kevin Hart joke lane right there. You stay in your financial lane until you create your own.
Yeah.
Like
my goal is to have the inventory and the money to try to get into one of your shows this year or beginning of next year. Right now, I know I don't have the inventory that makes sense because I don't have more than 4 cards over $50.
Well,
to be so that big.
That brings me up to another point real quick though. And I don't know how you guys want to do this, so I don't want to hold you guys up, but have both of you collected pre-COVID?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. The comfort zone of most collectors pre-COVID was $100 and under.
You're right.
And you know what the comfort zone during COVID was? Probably still $100 and under for most people that are just watching these big deals happen. You know what the major shift was during COVID to the correction post-COVID? Was we stopped seeing the damn posts every day of ATH, all-time high, ATH, all-time high. And you know what we're freaking seeing again? All-time high crap posts. With that year and a half from like the end of 22 to mid-24 was the best to not see those darn posts all the time about these massive sales that, listen, the three of us control the market. We'll pay to make one of those sales look real and get the market hyped up because we own the rest of the market. And we're going to profit because most people cannot wrap their head around someone paying fees on purpose to pump a market.
Yeah.
Well, because most people don't have enough money to do that. And I'm not judging anyone for their financial status or what they enjoy in the hobby. I'm just saying like this stuff happens and it was a great correction period post peak COVID when everything started opening up again and people's money went back to vacations and not worrying about getting sick and not staying home collecting, that we stopped seeing those darn all-time high posts all the time it doesn't affect what I enjoy to collect unless it makes it priced out of my market.
You know what the one thing I'm tired of hearing of is I buy this percentage, whatever percentage it is. I'm so those videos the most annoying thing to me, because like most cards, if I want the card, I'm paying for it. If I'm selling the card, I am selling it for right around comps. And if I want to sell it for $2 or $3 less, $5 less, that's gonna be based on the conversation that we have. You know, I like you tell me you see a card out for $10, can I get it for $8? I'm like, maybe. You want anything else? Like, can you get a bigger deal? But like, if I want to buy it for $5, like I just think
it also
like,
just depends on how
negotiating.
you're that collection too, though. That's the difference, right? It depends on how you're into
It
that.
does. It depends on how I bought it. I've had conversations. I've had people call. I just bought a car for like $7. I put it up for 10 on the table because I was trying to make a little profit. And it's like, can I buy that for $5? I'm like, no, but you can buy it for $8.
Right.
No, I want it for $8. Okay, that's fine. I did
Yeah.
come down. I just bought it. I'll take $1 to just moving around. It's not that big of a deal.
The only thing I agree with on the vendor side for buying at a percentage is obviously for many people it has become a business, and you aren't going to trade your car into a dealership and expect 100% unless it's a rare car that they know they can get more. You're also not going to go to a jewelry store and try to sell back your jewelry expecting to get anywhere near even 25% of the value of what you paid for it, right? So I think the difference in this hobby that people have to remember is it doesn't need to be transactional. It doesn't need to be percentage based. And at the end of the day, there is an emotion behind it more than being a car dealership. Our car dealership isn't having repeat buyers in the same month at multiple locations, whereas we are.
What I find is that the same type of people who complain about what their video games when they traded it back into GameStop got,
Yeah,
the same type of people who are now trying to buy at 60, 70, 80% for stuff. Like, you don't understand that, hey, as a business side, I understand why shops buy at 50, 60, 70%. You have overhead. I understand why vendors do it. You paid to be at the show. You're doing this as a business.
Oh, you're talking about like the attendees walking.
Yeah, attendees walking. Hey,
listen, the attendees walking, especially if they're a big buyer, there isn't a. When I was building my repacks, which I had a very good sports repack on the market that we would sell to a breaker, and he would sell out every single weekend. It was so much fun to do. I would pay you full price at your table until we built a relationship. Mm-hmm. And once you learned what I like to buy, I'd walk up to you and say, listen, I got $1,000 budget for your table today. I need this range to this range. Do you have anything that falls within the stuff I usually buy from you that you can't move lately that you have room on? And I would just take, as long as it made sense, players weren't hurt or players weren't irrelevant, right? I would just take whatever you gave me for the $1,000 and thank you for the relationship and thank you for the deal. I never went up demanding, I'm a big buyer, I need to buy it 70% from you as a dealer. No, you tell me what you can't move, and if you have room on it, I'll take it so I can help you open cash flow for the next deal. And that's how you build relationships. No one wants to build relationships when they're only looking at percentages. But if you build the right relationship, those percentages will come without you even trying.
Absolutely right.
Again, I've bought stuff, and the more like I have a routine, and it's sad now. I go see Murph and Mike when I go to the show first before I do any deal with anybody else. I go, I buy. It doesn't matter if I'm getting discount out. If I see they usually have, I know that they have stuff I like to buy. And
you know they buy collection strong enough that they can make a deal for you too because you built a relationship with them.
I bought cards full price for them. I've got a couple dollars off of stuff. We just make a deal. Whatever I know, there's two tables that I know are going to be priced fairly. Those are those two tables. Right. And once I make my deal with them, I open up to go around the other tables. Now I feel like I just open up. Then I go boom. Let me go see what this table got. That means I'm in the deal making mood now that I've bought. I know I've bought what I want because I know these two tables have what I like every time I come. They're gonna have a curry, they're gonna have some wraps, they're gonna have a good dollar bands, they're gonna have some nice Pokemon. I just know I'm gonna make a deal. I'm gonna make the easiest deal I'm gonna make. It's gonna be at this table.
Well, and that example is why the promoter, I would prefer to have all 300 tables be the exact same dealers every event. No offense to like other good dealers that deserve space as well, but it is up to the dealers to rotate their inventory, and you will always know where your favorite dealers are if we had the same floor plan every time.
True.
But that's a perfect life scenario that'll never happen.
Yeah, but again, for me, as not shy as I am, it just takes me a moment to open up when I go to trade nights, when I go to shows, and I've just got a relationship with them where if I make my deal with them first, I can now be in the mindset where I can go talk to other people and make deals. I'm talking now, and once I start, I don't stop. So I've tried coming in and going to the tables first, and it's just awkward. And I go to them, come back to the table. I was going again. People I've made deals coming in. You get them 10, I'll buy it. That I didn't even. Somebody had a Shea rookie a year ago for $10, and I was like, I didn't know Shea market. I just know Shea was good. Was he was getting? I was like, you know what? That seems fair. Here's $10. That seems like a fair price for where he's at now as a player.
I have a hot take that a lot of vendors don't want to hear as well.
What you got?
And I know we've all seen the videos. I am not against attendee to attendee deals happening.
Oh,
no.
If you walk up to my table and I say, no, thank you, and he says, do you mind if I take a look? That dealer just passed. And I say, well, no. Maybe I'm interested now. No. The two of you can make a deal because I passed. And I've even had people ask, hey, do you mind if we use this corner of your table? Yeah, sure, go ahead. But if someone wants to look, do you mind moving for me? Like, again, it's an open hobby. You walk into my shop, I've done the same thing. Hey, I don't like buying slabs, but I know he does. Hey, Brandon, you want to come over and take a look? He's got some slabs I'm not interested in. While you're here, you want to take a look? Maybe you guys can make a deal together. Like, we host a trade night for that darn reason. If I can't do it on a Wednesday, why am I hosting trade nights, right? And I know there are so many dealers and so many shows that are banning people for that exact thing. And I highly disagree with it because guess what? If we made a deal on the side, what's to say that money didn't go help me buy something from another vendor anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely right.
I've seen people all bathrooms making deals. I've seen people in the casino sitting down getting their coffee, making a deal with somebody.
But it's about that change because that's a change in the hobby. That didn't happen years ago. I came to talk to the vendor. So now if I open my mind, Scott has opened his mind up.
Well, I still think 95% of people will only go to talk to vendors. I don't think the 95% of people have the confidence to talk to the person next to them or to open their mouth to say, "Oh my God, I really want that card. Do you think I can buy it?" Or now I know that there's been the negative examples as well, where you go to sell a card to a dealer, the person behind you says, "Oh no, I'll offer 10% more." That person should, if they're going to offer 10% more anyway, keep quiet. Let the dealer buy it and then just offer them the 10% more 2 seconds later. They're probably going to take it. You know what I mean? Like, don't make the negative example either. But as soon as a dealer passes, if another attendee says, let me take a look, go ahead. Like, this is a hobby. And I'll go back that a lot of people do need to run it like a business, want to run it like a business. But at the end of the day, if people aren't enjoying this hobby, they're not there for your business anyway.
You want to know another benefit of having majority of the same vendors? Is that a lot of vendors know what others have. So I think the last show people were looking for soccer, and everybody was sending them over to the corner to DJ and somebody else because we all know he has soccer. DJ has soccer.
Like, as soon as they're not there, now your recommendation is wrong because you didn't realize they weren't there.
I've been in the room. It's like I know what couple of vendors that like to buy out dollar boxes when they get low, and I'm like, hey, I just went over there. This is what I just got from them. If you're looking for stuff, you may want to go look over there because they got a good dollar bin.
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, thank you, John." And they go over there and they end up buying the whole 4-row from the vendor because like I can sell over here. Like they had a good dollar bin. So that's another benefit of just your vendors know what other vendors have. They can direct customers there.
I mean, I do it at the shop all the time too. I mean, it's obviously there's a selfish aspect to owning and running the event, but I don't like to buy slabs at the shop on the Pokemon side. It is not an easy market for me. People prefer raw singles for their binders. Do me a favor. The event's in 2 weeks. Go to the event. If you can't sell them there, I'd be shocked. Come in the week after. If you really can't sell them, you still need the cash flow, I will buy them. But I'm telling you, I'm going to be at a much lower percentage because it is not my market. And all I'm doing is buying the risk from you on something I don't sell well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very transparent. And most of them go to the event, move the stuff, come back and say thanks. Like, I'm not afraid to pass the business to someone else if it's not my market and it's not my easy thing. There's no reason to put the cash flow out and stress about it if it's something I don't want.
Yeah. Do you sell on eBay or no?
Not anymore.
Right.
No, we're gratefully too busy at the shop to do that. What I do on eBay is consignment services. So I still use DC Sports. While I understand the controversy behind Probstein, I still use Probstein. So
I think there's only one you don't use.
What's that?
I think there's only one you don't use.
Who's
from
that?
our conversation. I use PC for my PC Sports Cards for my consignment.
I've just never tried them. Yeah,
I use
there's no reason not to use them. I just haven't tried them, you know. So like, if I have a collection of stuff come in and I'm like, listen, it's not my market. If you really want I always tell people very transparently why I make decisions. Number one, I'd rather politely pass, or number two, if you really want to sell this, I'll give you $20 for it, and I'll try to figure out getting my $20 back. And if I can find $20 worth of cards to send in my next consignment box, and I kept someone happy and still made my cash flow back, right? But otherwise, you know, I usually try to politely pass first. But yeah, I'd much rather use the consignment services, let them deal with all the hassles of the cheaper envelopes on eBay. I got so tired of, as a buyer, hundreds of envelopes show up without saying delivered, and I never lied about one of them. And I just happen to get the buyers that like to lie, their stuff never shows up.
So I'm dealing with that right now. I sent out 5 cards last week, and only 2 of them got scanned by UPS and post office. So everybody's messaging me, did you send my card? I'm like, yeah, I sent it off last week. And, you know, I hand my stuff right to my my mailman because they got to pick up my job anyway. So they get it right in their hands.
Yep.
And so I'm like, trust me, it's coming. I know it's coming. Or me and my mailman going to have a real conversation.
Right.
Because I hand them stuff weekly. Here's your 5 going out. Here's your 5 going out.
Yeah.
So I still do eBay. I just don't do it as much because
if I was to go back to eBay, my only advice would be to switch the level of cards that you're willing to carry and sell to require tracked shipping. That'd be my only advice. I mean, other businesses have clearly made plenty of money on the cheap cards, but even like the consignment services like DC Sports, you win a card for them for $1, you're still paying $7 for shipping.
Mm-hmm. I am getting the more of the $20 cards now because I'm actively trying to learn how to buy. I just bought about 300, maybe 400 cards from somebody from whatnot that watches the show on the way to come and go through that. So I have stuff for the show and stuff for eBay. I'm trying to do this as a business this year. That's kind of the goal, to see how much of a business it can be. Because, you know, I got another cruise coming up in the May. So I know you just got a Carnival. So my wife said we're not doing Carnival anymore. So we're doing the Royal Caribbean.
New Jersey? Out of Florida for that.
No, out of Brooklyn. No, out of Jersey. Out of Jersey.
They got Oasis there, really?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like July somewhere. We're going to Oasis. Yeah, we're going to Jersey.
I didn't realize they can fit that big of a ship there.
I don't know. We're going, or maybe it's the Icon of the Seas. It's one of the big ones. I know.
I just don't know the Jersey port enough to know what they can or can't fit there. So that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're going on at the end of May, and I've made promises that I won't have a budget for this cruise, so she can buy whatever she wants. So I got to sell more cards.
Promises you can't cash yet.
Well, see again. Luckily, I know who
I
I
didn't mean
married.
this cruise. I meant this cruise next year.
No. Luckily, I know who I married. So an unlimited budget is not really unlimited because you ain't gonna go crazy. But you know, I had a good time on the last cruise, having clean credit cards. That way I wasn't worried about what we spent the whole cruise. I had that stress of what we spent. So I want to have even more fun on a bigger ship, knowing that
Okay.
like. Plus, I need motivation to sell more cards. So this is like.
Honestly, I mean that'd be my other biggest advice to anyone listening that's trying to get into the vending side is like find your motivator. My first Jordan rookie I ever bought was because I sold $2 to $20 cards as much as I could to set that goal of buying that rookie.
Hero says
Hero 3 has a comment here. I hope no one here is getting into One Piece. Talk about overrated.
So on the One Piece side, I feel bad for the current collectors and the players because it's wrecking it for them. I highly agree with the overrated part due to we're over the last 5 years, and unfortunately, the negative way to say it is just the crypto bros. So sorry to any of the good crypto people out there, but the crypto bros moved from crypto to shoes to sports cards to Pokemon cards to now One Piece because they understand how to control the FOMO and control the money. And it is a very unfortunate situation for hobbies getting attacked by investo crypto bros. And so I will agree to a certain extent it's overrated. I think part of the way to explain why it's overrated, though, is most of us that grew up with now the anime has been running for like 30 years, but the most of us grew up with the memories of collecting sports and Pokemon cards as kids, and it keeps the nostalgia now, which is why we do it as adults. One Piece doesn't have that same attachment, so One Piece is going to have a way harder crash than sports or Pokemon did on their corrections after the crypto bros leave their footprint.
I think One Piece is the 10 to 18-year-olds Pokemon. So I think when they get 40, they're going to still be collecting those cards and into that stuff. But right now, I agree with you. It's a pump and dump.
So if you feel that way, wait for the dump to be or the pump to be over and pick up some sealed product and stick it in the closet.
I think everybody that I work with that are under 22 years old loves and watches One Piece.
So if you feel that way, early One Piece boxes are going to be similar to early Pokemon boxes sealed, with the exception of the percentage correlation may not be the same, right? Like I'm not telling you a first box of One Piece is going to be, $150,000, but it is going to be much higher than it is today.
Do you think I can save wax? I'm not that person. I'm opening up everything.
I do believe you can save wax if it's of a product you don't care about.
I like opening up cards.
I mean, would you put $300 in a One Piece box and not care about it and still open it just out of curiosity? I mean, I would
put $300 to open up One Piece because I don't know anything about it.
But you might put $300 into it to save it for 10 years and know it'll be $1,200.
And this is the argument we had last week. I think I could do other things at $300 to have $1,200 in a year and a half. Then, or just other things at $300 and
that's fair. But if I told you could book 3 cruises off of a random One Piece product in 10 years, you'd probably buy it.
Yeah, still got to open it. Yeah, I have my wife hide it from me.
I do agree with you. Overrated.
I like opening. I like opening product. I am terrible at holding and saving stuff. Like unless I moving it quick. If I'm putting on eBay, moving it quick, I'm pretty much opening it.
I will let you in on a secret that I say at the shop when every time someone says, "Scott, you open up another pack of cards?" No, I'm letting the fresh air in. I don't open packs anymore. I let the fresh air in. The cards just need a little legs to get out.
Yeah. I mean, but again, I like breaking and the concept of breaking because I can't buy singles if nobody opens wax.
You mean they're not just out there?
They're not just out there if nobody opens wax.
I love when everyone always says, like, we're just never going to open ever again. We're just going to buy singles. I'm like, yeah, if everyone felt that way, where are the singles coming from? Then the single market would go up because they're not out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, people usually talk about one thing and do another. We got what? What is DBZ? What is
Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, Dragon Ball Z had my heart at the same time. Scottie Pippen and the Unbeatables who were running in the 90s. Dragon Ball Z isn't getting any traction.
That's true. Dragon Ball Z is not getting any traction. It gets a lot of traction on the Funko Pop side. It gets a lot of traction at anime-focused conventions and Comic-Cons, but the card game itself is not a playable, collectible thing at all.
So I have a question. Since talking about Dragon Ball Z, this brings me to Yu-Gi-Oh! What do you think about Yu-Gi-Oh! Getting full arts?
I'm sorry, what's Yu-Gi-Oh? No, I'm just kidding. Lately, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Market has been so bad that you can't even buy a box at distribution and sell it for, like, market is half the price of distribution, like that same week. I heard that the gameplay was changed. I did not hear that there was going to be full arts and stuff. So
yeah, there's going to be full art, Dark Magicians, and full art. What's the dragon? Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
they're getting full outs in some of the new sets coming out.
I mean, it's a change they probably needed for their fan base, but it's the same thing with like sports having too many parallels, right? Like the case hits are kind of what made that a better product to a certain extent. Because if you don't have people that believe in the product, then it's not going to sustain. So, you know, Topps having the home field advantage look very similar to downtowns, but have nowhere near the value of downtowns is very interesting, right? They're a very similar style. They're a very similar hit rate, if not a worse hit rate than downtowns. And yet there's not a lot of merit in the hobby for home field advantage. Now, we might see that shift if downtowns are a thing of the past, right? The home field advantage is going to be the newest, closest thing to a downtown.
But the characteristics, so I look, Big Jon and I talk about this sometimes, the characteristics of a car, home field advantage is not numbered. It's a case hit, right?
Yes. Say it's very similar to a downtown.
Yeah, so in my world, like, what does that mean? To me, that's like made up rarity, made up scarcity. Well, what is a case hit telling me?
But I mean, 90s refractors were the same way, right? I mean, like some Jordan stuff that's not numbered does crazy value because it was that same made up scarcity.
Yeah, but it's Jordan. So now we're talking about LaMelo Ball. We're talking about Ja Morant. We're talking about players that won't even materialize in anything.
Oh, no, that's fair. That's 100% fair. But also, back in 2018, when I was buying Sony Michel autos for $250 because I thought that was the cool thing to do, and I thought Brady was untouchable, Brady autos weren't much more. Brady rookies weren't much more. So if we had just done a little research, yeah, there's no way in heck I'd ever, from a PC perspective, there's no way in heck I'd buy any of these downtowns or home field advantages for my PC over a nice Jordan. The same way when I hit the Cooper Flag 25 out of 25 on card auto, I unfortunately still haven't been able to sell it, but I should have just put it first to market on an eBay consignment service, let it sell for the $6,000 to $8,000 it could have sold for, and I would have bought a nice Jordan card in a heartbeat for the PC over keeping a flag card.
I just don't understand why in the hobby we go through these cycles as if we've never seen it. We're blind to it. We just keep going through it.
Because people
are chasing the win, the W's in the chat, the money, like whatever it is, people are chasing it.
You're right, Scott. I never thought about that. I think it is the W's in the chat and the social media play.
Yeah, it's the clout.
I don't think confidence is going to take traction. I was surprised that in the Topps basketball, the paper version, that we didn't see more golden mirrors for sale. Because in baseball, the golden mirrors are really what you're looking for. That's
I have a
what
hot take on that one.
well,
I don't think your average basketball only collector knows what a golden mirror is, and I bet you
Yeah.
most of them are buried in bulk
Big
somewhere.
John told me. Big John
Mhm.
wrote it down to me.
I mean, the people that do know, they're expensive online, but like, I'm hoping that I go in a shop and just find go through a dollar box and find a golden mirror.
There's a kid, Alex, that works over at Skybox Collectibles in Norwalk, and he said to me one day at the shop, he goes, "Dude, didn't you check the checklist?" And I was like, "Didn't you know 99% of people don't know what a checklist is?" Like, no one checks the checklist for what they're looking for. They're just looking for what they saw on social media when they open a box, especially if it's a brand new product that they're unaware of. So if you've never collected baseball to understand the Topps products of the mirror card, you would have no idea what you're flipping through on the new Topps products for basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Because like in baseball, you have image variations and golden mirrors, which are bigger than the actual getting the case hits. Like everybody has gravitated to the All Kings card for the insert, and I hate the way those cards look. I just don't like them.
Now, I would say on behalf of the newer collector, the uninformed collector, and the fact that most people are not aware of checklists, while as collectors, we can take the accountability to understand the checklist better. I would push this accountability on the makers of the cards to actually mark short prints better. Like, I don't know how often you open Topps Heritage in order to like look for like the code for like the good hits and everything.
Mhm.
Some of those codes are printed so poorly on the back of those cards. I don't have a magnifying glass. I don't have 20/20 vision. Like, I can't read the code to tell what I'm looking at, and it's easier to chuck it in a bulk box because I'm getting frustrated than to just mark the card SP or IV for image variation or something, or just variation, VAR. Like, just mark it with something, as we are having millions of uninformed collectors get into the hobby trying to learn it. We didn't know all this stuff from day one. We've learned it from other people, from experiences, from reading checklists, from whatever. I think that the manufacturers need to do a better job marking the cards.
Hey, every year, I have to watch Striker on YouTube to just understand what all the image variations are for Series 1 because he opens so much product to see it.
Right.
I just can't go through looking, trying to find, going back and looking through the car. I did that during 2021. It's everything look and trying to find it.
How many of the first cards got thrown away that weren't stamped correctly on the front, but were stamped 101s on the back?
Mm-hmm.
I got a topic before we get out of here that I gotta have Scott in on Big Jon.
Go for it.
What is a catch in the NFL?
So it has to do with whichever ref is getting paid more money.
Me personally, sometimes I get blown away by stuff. And I'm shocked that people don't know what a catch is in the NFL.
So are you saying there was a catch in the Bills game or there wasn't a catch in the Bears game?
No, I'm saying it was an interception in the Bills game, and it wasn't a catch in the Bears.
And it wasn't a catch in the Bears game.
Don't know that. But in that Bills game, and we'll watch to me, everything goes back to the catch was redefined when in the Bears versus Lions game with Megatron. I'm sitting in Detroit and I'm watching this game when he put the ball out on the ground. Like, what is a catch? But if two people grab the ball, if Big Jon and I jump and we both grab the ball and we both come down with the ball and the play stops right there, that's the receiver's catch.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're still moving, that ball is still moving around and we're both still holding it, whoever has that ball at the end of the football motion has the catch. And when I was watching this game, I'm watching it with some people and we're talking about it. And I'm surprised that like the commentators, there were people on the field, there were different people that were shook up by this. Let's just look at this play.
Well, we're going to need you on this one, Gene. Yeah, this is really close. I'm not sure Cooks has possession coming to the ground there to say that it would be simultaneous. It feels to me like Cooks doesn't have firm possession of the football when they're down by contact there.
And the thing is, when the receiver comes down with the ball, you have to hold on to the rock. First of all, Allen has to throw a pass that the DB can't even touch. But when the DB touches it, he had one hand on the ball, brought another hand on the ball. At that point, and then they go into this roll, the receiver has to hold on to that ball. This shook up the world. People are watching a sport and really don't know how that thing operates.
Can I say what's a travel then for the NBA?
Oh, that
No, nothing's a travel. Nothing's a travel in the NBA.
No, you know what's crazy though is how the fact that two of these style catches have happened weeks apart, and it's amazing that it doesn't happen more throughout the season just on how many passes are thrown every Sunday. And now it matters on the playoff side, whereas it wouldn't really matter as much during the season, right? Like I think the chances of this happening twice this close but barely happening prior is odd.
I also think it's interesting that when things happen in a game, certain people are blamed, certain people are not blamed. Like if you're Josh Allen and you underthrow the ball to the point where the DB stops and comes back to it, whatever's happening now is your fault.
Yes.
But no one is going to talk about that. No one's going to bring that up.
Well, the other thing I like to bring up, especially because I don't like to argue too much about sports because the teams don't pay us to like hate each other over a logo, right? But the other thing I like to bring up is when a play at the end of a game is that close to decide the ending of it and people blame the refs. Well, why wasn't your team just ahead more so that play didn't matter? Why wasn't Josh Allen ahead by 12 more points to where no matter what happens on the outcome of that play, right or wrong for the call, it's still a win?
True, I can see that.
Why is your defense letting up more points? Or why are you not outscoring what your defense is allowing to where if that wasn't a play that would have decided the win or loss of a game, no one would ever talk about it.
Yep. And
they say it was a shitty call, but they're not gonna blame the ending of a playoff run for a team off of one play when they had chances the rest of the game to win the game.
I thought the refs got it right on both occasions.
So did I.
Right, I thought that wasn't a catch. He didn't have control of the ball when his knee hit. And in the Bears game, he had secured control of the ball when his knee hit.
Right.
It is what it is.
And then there's another play. Hold on.
I think I also don't agree with the breaking of the plane for the touchdown.
Yeah.
Just by running out of bounds and holding the ball out over it, because the rest of the field, that doesn't count.
Mm. Yeah, so you don't have to
count there.
Once you break the plane, it doesn't matter if you drop the ball. It's not a fumble because you already broke the plane.
Okay, so when you break the first down, it should be the same thing then. Like, I don't know.
I agree.
See if I can find this out. That's another.
Why you do that? The Mets made a trade. They traded for White Sox receiver, one of my PC players, Luis Robert.
Interesting. That's an interesting.
They got a center fielder.
Hold on, where did he go?
The Mets.
Oh yeah. You talked about this last week, right?
Yeah, I was waiting for him to get traded.
Yeah,
I knew it was going to happen.
That's an interesting move.
He had a bad year. White Sox still suck. They need he's controlled for like 5 years, I think. And when he's on, he's good. So
yeah, that happened an hour ago. That'll be interesting. Talk about a pump and dump of the 2020 Topps product.
Yes, sir. I was about to say that. Absolutely right. Now this
or when Herbert got called in.
Rod Woods, he's the NFL player to have a critical knee surgery and still play in the same season. Sanders still in. He's Aikman on first down. Goes long for Sanders. Caught by Dion at the 15-yard line.
But Dion comes down with this ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then the DB tries to rip from him. It's a totally different football play. Joe Burrow spoke on this. Yeah. It's always interesting.
There's no need to sell Luis Robert right now. He just got traded. He ain't did nothing. His value ain't went up. He's been down for 2.5 years.
But Big Jon, you know, in the hobby, people make moves just because somebody switched jerseys.
Listen, as a person with a lot of Luis Robert cards and nice ones at that, they're 6 months. See what him and Soto do around the All-Star break. Then consider selling. There's no point. There's nothing happening to make his cards go up right now. Besides,
he's not a PC card. Sell the hype.
I don't think it's hype yet, though. I don't think he's going to be hype until then. He just got traded.
I'm just saying, so whatever you feel the hype is, sell the hype if it's not a PC card. If some people think the hype is now, I'd sell it now. Maybe people feel it'll be a good year for him, so they want to, so that you start to see a bunch of sales hit right now.
And we always say sell the hype. That's what we say. But I am.
Who's the last player that changed uniforms and it was their performance went up?
Otani?
No, I was about to say Otani. Mookie Betts.
Otani was balling anyway.
Soto still balled, but it wasn't me. I mean, I'm with baseball. You don't sell. You buy now. You don't sell until spring training starts. That's when the hype builds up. Then you hold till playoffs after that.
I just don't know the last
autos do like $10.
Huh?
Crazy.
You see what it is?
Some of his autos only do like $10. I was just seeing if anything sold in the last hour for the hype. That's all.
I have a Brooklyn. I have a CGC9 Brooklyn collection out of 75 auto that I got a year and a half ago for $15. But nobody, if you know about Brooklyn collection, you know it only comes out every like 3 years. So and it's a 75. Like when the hype goes up, we'll see if I can flip that to a better version, because that's a rare card.
I'm still asking the question: who was a player that was average or struggling that went to another team and their performance got better?
Oh, I apologize. I missed the part about average and struggling, because I said Mookie Betts was an example of going to another team and being better, but that was just because Boston let him down, not because he was average and struggling.
Yeah. I think we see this, but I've never seen.
Yeah, nobody does been average about. I mean, again, Cal Schwarber left the Cubs. He was after winning a championship. You got everybody that got traded from that championship team was terrible for years after. Bias just got good playing center field.
I can't give you an example. I really can't. I mean,
I don't think there is one, but we think that people.
I think most of the jersey changes have just been good people or prospects, right? And prospects don't have enough time by the time they get called up sometimes to show that they're going to be that person.
And they traded Acuna's younger brother, Luis Angel.
I heard he couldn't hit.
Yeah, he couldn't hit last year.
See, I saw him hit a home run at the Yard Goats game. I was like, hey, isn't that Acuna's brother? Oh, yep, I guess so.
Their swing is exactly the same.
He knows how to dress, though. I mean, his uniform, how he has it laid out, and how it looks, phenomenal.
Again, for me, my thing has always been buy baseball from the end of the World Series till the end of February, and then try to sell it all in April.
Oh, of course. Once you know the cycle of sports, and you don't, as long as you're someone that doesn't regret selling something just because it went up, and you don't harp on deals you made, If all you're doing is trying to flip a little bit for the money to get something cool in the PC, once you know the sports cycle, that's always the way to go.
Mm-hmm. Like I've been picking up little Paul Skeens, even second and third year stuff now, just waiting for the season to start.
See, I give people this example all the time. I sold a Bowman Chrome purple out of 250 PSA 10 Shohei rookie for $300 during his Tommy John surgery in 21.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked it up a couple weeks ago, it sold for $24,000. Now, in the same time, unless that was randomly locked in a safe that you had no access to, you probably would have sold it at $1,000. You probably would have sold it at $2,000. You probably would have sold it somewhere before it became half the price of a car. And you cannot harp on the decisions that you made looking backwards.
Not at all. Gotta have conviction in the moves you make. And it was part of your plan. So what's your plan with the Cooper flag when we get out? I'm curious. You just gonna hold it or grade it?
Okay,
or
at this point, I'm waiting to see what happens with like the Topps Chrome stuff. I think because it's a paper insert, even though it's out of 25 out of 25 on card auto, like it's got all the bells and whistles for the hobby. I think that he had a rough start because Dallas just isn't good. So I'm not much into the card anyway. I don't mind holding it for next season with all the other sports flips we've done lately. I mean, we picked up a bunch of mantles the other day and already resold them as well. So like my cost of that card is technically negated at this point due to other deals. And I don't mind seeing what happens. I would have loved to have been first to market and got some crazy, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 payout from DC or PC or somebody. I just made a couple of the wrong phone calls in the excited mode. I called like every connection I knew. Who do you know at Golden? We got to get this card on auction. Who do you know at PC to get this overnighted to them? Like, I never pulled the trigger and did it. That's my fault. Because I definitely buy some nice Jordans instead. But I think, Wemby's second year, his stuff really took off. I think if people feel that Cooper is really that type of talent, I think it can be an easy card to hold next year. Just like if you're in the vending space and you have the ability to not sell football right now, unless it's selling the Drake May hype for the playoffs, right? Save football for next season. So, we're picking up a couple things to grade for next season, and if we're wrong, we're wrong.
who you grading with?
What's that?
Who you grading with?
Oh, PSA. I mean, come on, we know this market. We know 90% of people are going to pretend to run from PSA, and as soon as they can't sell CGC or SGC at the show, which, by the way, I love CGC. I'm actually a certified dealer for them, but as soon as they can't sell a sports card in a CGC slab, they're going to run right back to PSA.
Here, two of them right here.
And with my dealer status with CGC, I mean, I had an order get there on the 9th, and they just shipped it back to me today. So, I mean, that's very fast turnaround.
People hating on PSA, man.
What's that?
I said people are hating on PSA, man.
Their actions not speaking louder than their words, because
if they really did what they did, it's a shitty situation, right? Unfortunately, there's so many employees, like the amount of fraud that happens at banks every day as well, and people get arrested. Like, people don't boycott their local bank just because a manager got arrested for stealing $500,000 from customers, right? The insurance in the bank makes it whole for customers because of regulation, and people forget about it 2 weeks later and move on. I mean, people are already ignoring the PSA scandal and moving on because they know that PSA owns the market on the resale side. And if you're going to grade stuff for your PC, this is what I tell people all the time: don't worry about the grade, don't worry about the card, don't worry about the company. Enjoy your PC. But if you are grading to resell, unless it can get like a Beckett 10 or Beckett Black Label, or it's vintage and you want to look back, what I used to say was quicker with CGC or SGC, but I can tell you their return times are atrocious right now. If you just don't want the upcharge of PSA, yeah, you go to SGC, you get a cheaper fee, but you're also getting a cheaper return when you sell that card.
And PSA knows this, so They know there'll be a lot of chatter, but they're gonna still get those submissions.
Yep.
As long as they're doing 1.5 million a week, nothing's gonna change.
That's correct. And I love the people, no offense to anyone out there that has said this, but I love the people that are commenting on these posts like, I just won't grade with them again. And someone asked them, well, how many cards have you ever graded? They're like 6. Like, okay. Yeah. Like PSA does not care because another dealer is submitting 6,000 a month. It doesn't, your 6 cards aren't hurting them.
And that number 6 is probably 20, probably 50, probably really 80.
Like I say all the time, I like buying my PC and getting my value, getting added value in other slabs that are not PSA slabs.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know I can only sell PSA slabs. That's what people are looking for. It has to be a really liquid, rare card to sell another slab, and you're going to sell it 70% of what it sells in the PSA.
I tell people all the time they come to the shop because I do grading for customer. I'll do for customers. I'll do it at all 4 big companies. I don't care. I know I have dealer status with CGC, which at least adds merit to why we do it, but I don't have dealer status anywhere else, but I still sub to all 4 companies. My first question is, why are you doing it? Is it for PC or resell? If they say resell, it's red label or nothing.
Mm-hmm. Well, Scott, it's been great having you back on. Definitely looking forward to February 14th and going out. Where can everybody find you at?
EC3 Con website, just the @ Instagram, Facebook. You know, it's all very simple. EC3 Con.
Yeah. Again, we appreciate you having you on tonight. It was very fun. After you, anything last words?
No, just as a reminder to everyone, you know, despite the scandals out there, despite, you know, the negativity of the social media black hole, just enjoy your collection, meet people, have fun, stay off social media for a couple of weeks and just get out to events and meet people. And you will see a very different change in just enjoying this hobby, meeting people. You don't even have to spend any money to meet people and enjoy it.
Agreed. I like it.
Thank you, Scott, for being here. I always appreciate you, man. You always bring a great perspective to me, too. The car side, show side, and sports side.
It's always fun working with you guys. I like it. I appreciate you guys always inviting me.
Yes, sir.
Who was the best WWE female wrestler?
Who's the what?
Best WWE female wrestler.
I wish I could answer that for you. I don't follow wrestling enough. I booked the guests to make sure you guys have fun.
It's gonna be interesting. We'll see how Hero, we may do a wrestling show for Royal Rumble, so I'll let you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to jump in and learn doing that experience. Yes.
All right, take it easy.
God, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, bye.
Yep.